everything's working as it's supposed to. Alright. There we go. Okay. Minimize this. Sit here at Reams, I suppose, or general. Doesn't matter. Where's my TV remote? Oh, there it is.
Eat this! All mine. Can't run from me. Eat this. You're mine. Can't run from me.
Yeah, that's normal. Can I get away with this? Pulley. Okay. Fallout New Vegas doesn't like you alt-tabbing. Got that.
Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractable, a Wood Elf production with your hosts, Beautiful Bob, Wily Wade, and Mesmerizing Mark. This week, the tripod of rambunctious rascals review the vicissitudes of life and how the best laid plans of mice and men can go all awry. Yes, it's time for life
gosh.
plans. Please prepare
You
thy
don't think,
handkerchiefs and enjoy the show.
Hey guys, welcome back to Distractable, the show where I'm the host today and I can talk about whatever the heck I want. And I can even put things in the wrong order, like that. So,
I like how surprised you always sound. Hey, welcome to Distractable, or I'm the host? Yeah!
well, it is surprising to win, even if I kind of stacked the deck 2 weeks ago to make sure I would.
Yeah, funny how that happened. That's so weird.
I'd lost a lot of episodes in a row, and it was like, well, maybe I should start winning more in a row.
Yeah, well, we're not gonna let you pull that shit again, unless we do. So you watch yourself.
Well, you might have to, because if I'm the judge, you have to accept my ruling, I think, right?
I've seen this episode.
It's not really in the bylaws, I don't know.
Anyway, whichever one of the two of you interests me the most or gets the most.
Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractable, a Wood Elf production with your hosts, Bilious Bob, Maverick Mark, and Wistful Wade. This week, the threefold personable pals ponder perfidious paters and misrepresenting maters as they attempt to deflect the scrutiny of their striplings. Yes, it's time for Lies from Parents. Please prepare thy polygraphs and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Distractable, a Wood Elf production. I am your host, Mark Edward Fishbach, the glorious. Oh no!
Has it been that long since you've won where you've forgotten how this works?
It's okay. We don't say Wood Elf production anymore, you fucking idiot.
We can.
You were the one who was like, oh, it's in the intro. No, you don't.
I said it wasn't. You can't say brought to you by Wood Elf because that makes it seem like we're
okay.
sponsored by Wood Elf.
Sure.
It's different.
Wade, I feel your pain.
Thank you. I also feel my pain.
I am the host, which means that I am the judge for this episode. I won last time. I won. I was the winner, which means I get to judge these two boys' lovely stories. Whatever they bring to the table, we will discuss and we will talk about based on the topic that I choose. I'm joined by the illustrious Bob Meiskens.
That's me. This is my voice.
Yes.
I'm good.
also joined.
I'm good.
Do you want to expand on that?
Well, you asked how I was doing, but then you didn't give me a chance to answer. I was just keeping it short.
There's been no foreplay in this episode. We're going straight to the finish.
I'm
It's not
also
to the same
joined-
extent. Oh,
No, carry on. Go ahead.
I'm good.
All right, cool. I'm also joined by the magnanimous Wade Barnes.
Hey, I'm also here.
You don't know what that word means.
Is that with a G? Is that I-O-U-M?
Uh-huh.
With an M in there? Generous or forgiving, especially toward a rival or less powerful person.
I wasn't challenging you, Wade. I don't think Mark knew what the word meant.
Oh! Well, now he knows I'm generous or forgiving toward my rivals or less powerful people. Like our listeners.
Yeah, like our listeners, yeah.
All of you less powerful people out there.
Okay, all right, let's tone it down there.
You're level 1 wizards, whereas I'm a level 10.
You're supposed to be generous or forgiving, not condescending, you prick.
Oh,
I'm deducting a point from Wade.
have my voice, and I forgive you, you little listeners.
All right, -1 for Wade.
You tiny little subhuman listeners. We grace you with our presence. You are allowed to hear us speak, but nay shall you see our faces.
And they won't even know it's me
Okay.
condescending them because I'm hiding behind my magnanimity.
Good word.
Thank you.
What an amazing combination of meanings.
So today I have a topic of conversation that I think everyone at home can identify with and can understand.
Genital warts?
And the topic of today... What?
Nothing, go ahead.
You want to say that again?
General worries?
You're
I believe he
mine.
said genital warts.
I believe you said genital warts.
You guys are just hearing what you want to hear.
You right.
Yeah, you're right. But the topic of conversation for today is lies our parents told us. Ooh. And I'll kick it off with something that I think is pretty universal, and I don't understand why. It's this kind of misconception of how... Was this a lie that our parents told us, or was this something else? Did your parents ever tell you that you can't drink coffee because it will stunt your growth?
I've heard that about different things. I don't remember if it was coffee specifically, but will stunt your growth is definitely...
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but it put such a fear in me as a child, because I think for...
It was true.
Is it true?
Well, for you, it was.
I didn't drink coffee. Think of how much shorter I would be if I did.
Well, what stunted your growth then?
Yeah, what?
All right, I'm deducting a point from both of you. Like Wade
Yay.
first. There's another negative one for Bob. Okay, all right. You're both not really doing very well today. You're off to a bad start.
It's so long since I've made a Marcus Short joke. It's unbelievable. Ugh.
But no, like they said, coffee would stunt your growth, which put a fear in me, and I never touched coffee for a long time. I didn't start drinking coffee until I got in college, when I was pretty sure I wasn't going to get any taller than this. So I'm like, yeah, I might as well.
You believed that through college?
It's not so much that I believed it through college. It just like put this subconscious like identity to coffee. It's like, oh, I can't have that. It wasn't even so much I disconnected it from the thought of being like, oh, there's a fear in me of like it'll stunt my growth. It's just like, oh, I can't have that. So for so long in my head, I could not have coffee because like, oh, it's bad for me if I have coffee. I got so distant from the lie that was told when I was a child that at the point when I was an adult, I didn't even realize fully why I didn't want to try coffee, why I was afraid of it. And it's because of that fear that my dad specifically put in me about coffee. And it's all due to a lie that he told me a long time ago. And it's a lie, and this is what parents do a lot. They lie to their kids about something being bad for them because they want to put a fear in them, not for the reasons that are real about it. Like, I don't know why, like caffeine for kids, it'd probably just be hyperactivity, but just...
That'd be really annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids are the worst. I don't need caffeine.
Yeah. No, they get enough. Well, that's the funny thing. He like didn't let me have caffeine, but he would give me like $5 to go to the Ameristop across the street so that I could get a yard pixie stick.
God,
like, I bought pixie sticks by the yards. That's just nothing but sugar in a tube. And that is probably something that actually could stunt your growth as a child. Is just eating nothing but pure sugar is terrible for you as a kid. Like, why didn't he put that fear in me? You know? But these are lies that parents say, right?
Something I've realized as I've started to get older is adults don't have any idea what the hell is going on. As a kid, especially with your parents, you get in your head like, oh, I don't know, I'm just a kid. I want to do this, but my parents say I shouldn't, and they know stuff. So unless you're like a really rebellious kid, at least on some issues, you're like, well, my parents said it's not, the coffee stunts your growth, and I don't know. And there wasn't like the internet, right? So I'm wondering if kids now, like you say something, you're like, no, don't make that face. Your face will grow weird. It'll get stuck in that position.
Exactly.
And the kid gets out their iPhone 13 Pro Max, and they're like, no, Google says that's fine if you make face. Like, fucking don't Google shit on your phone or you'll become an asshole.
Gonna
Google
get a
that.
cup of
See,
coffee
that's
while they're talking about coffee.
But like, the truth is, not to spoil this for any of you younger listeners out there, adults basically don't know anything either. Like,
oh God, no, we
I
don't.
can't escape the constant feeling of something happens, like if something happens in the house or like something comes up and it's like, oh, I gotta do that. There's no escaping that feeling of like, whoa. How the fuck do I do that?
Yeah.
What the hell? And parents are basically doing that, and it's lies, but it's literally a parent can't be like, don't drink coffee, because the kid's like, what? Why?
Yeah.
And the parent can't be like, I don't.
Because you have too much energy and you don't need more.
Yeah.
I said don't, so don't. You have to give some reason, because kids are always going to ask why. And,
Because I said so.
and there isn't a reason, because you don't fucking know.
Yeah, exactly.
You have no idea.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, Bob, and I'll give you a point for that. That was well put together.
Ha.
And it's kind of that thing. The priorities of a child are very different from a priority of an adult. And even so, like, if you really boil down the priorities of adults, they kind of, like, reduce down to very simple things. Like, I want to fuck. I want to eat. Like, I want to feel like I have a place in society and a purpose in life. You know, it's really simple things that you boil it down to. This episode of
Distractable
Distractable is
sponsored
sponsored
by
by
Fiverr.
I do a lot of creative things and I need help with it sometime. And Fiverr is a great place where you can go and look up all the services that are available from reputable freelancers.
Mark, are you telling me that you don't still edit all of your own videos?
God, no.
You're just a big phony, aren't you?
Well, I mean, I record it, but I guess I could hire someone to record it for me.
We should change the name of your YouTube channel to Markiplier used to do this, but now it's all done by Fiverr people.
I take pride in what I do, but so do the freelancers on Fiverr.com. They are very proud and they are very capable, and you can read reviews for every one of those freelancers, and you can search for your projects based on your needs for like what the project is, what the timeline is, the delivery schedule, and various different levels of service per freelancer, of which there are thousands.
You actually really could run like a really high quality YouTube channel with everything done exclusively by Fiverr. Video editing, graphic stuff, voiceovers, people to write copy for the voiceovers.
Find clips of me saying various things and edit it into a whole new reaction YouTube channel.
This
I guarantee
coffee's
that
gonna
if you
make me
wanted to
crash
and
in
have
an
like
hour.
compilations done of your channel, you could go to Fiverr and find someone to do that. That's actually not a bad idea. I should try that.
That is a really good idea.
Yeah, good job, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Me?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Find a freelancer with the specific skills you need for your next project. Check out Fiverr.com and receive 10% off your first order by using my code MARK10. Find all the digital services you need in one place at Fiverr.com, code MARK10. Again, that's Fiverr.com, code MARK10.
This episode of Distractable is sponsored by Sonos. Do you like streaming music? Do you like listening to podcasts? Sound? Well, Sonos has got everything you need to get all the sound you could want. The new Sonos Move is a premium portable speaker for listening all around your home, outdoors, on the trail. What kind of sounds you guys like?
I like frogs. Like, when we were filming Space, we would drive out there because it was a 30-minute drive out to the studio that we were filming at, and we would listen to frog sounds on the way. And I'm like, if I could get frog sounds in every room in my house with the new Sonos Move, I feel like my joy would increase dramatically.
Whenever you're like putting something together and two pieces like click when they're actually perfectly meshed together, I enjoy that click noise.
Well, Sonos has all kinds of speakers, and they have all kinds of features. Sonos speakers will interface directly with audio apps, like your podcast apps or like YouTube music. But also you can switch them to Bluetooth mode and play literally whatever you want directly from your phone, which is convenient if you're playing the sound of your significant other sleeping next to you in bed for 9 hours. Anything you want that relaxes you.
I love the idea of you recording your significant other's sleep sounds.
Yeah.
And then you bring that with you as you travel.
I've never done that. But like, listen, Sonos Move can create your perfect sound system by linking with other Sonos speakers. Mandy's heavy sleep breathing sounds really good. Just blasting in every room in the house when she's at work, and she doesn't know I do that.
I put a speaker inside a body pillow so I could snuggle it while she's gone.
You can discover speakers for all around your home and beyond at Sonos.com.
Wait, that's
including
creepy.
the Sonos Move and the all-new Roam. This latest portable addition to the Sonos system is smart, lightweight, waterproof, and ready for any adventures. So start yours now at Sonos.com.
But yeah, do you guys have any examples of lies that your parents told
Yes.
you? Oh.
3 words. I love you. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Wow.
I had an example come up somewhat recently where I was actually streaming. This is like 6 months to a year ago. I was streaming. I was reacting to something and I was like exaggerating my facial movements, and I like lowered my chin like down toward my neck and like pushed my chest and neck out a little bit. And I was making this stupid face. And then all of a sudden I got a Charlie horse feeling like in my throat and neck and chin, like all at once. And I could not move for a second because the pain was so severe. And I was like, oh my God, if I make this stupid face, I'll get stuck that way. They were right. And for like 20 seconds on, like just on camera, I'm sitting there with like my chin stuck in my neck, like looking like frantically like, oh God, they've witnessed it. They've all witnessed it. I'm now stuck like this.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
A point for that. And also, I'm going to give you a pity point for the I love you lie.
Thank you.
I just told you. So you get a little pity point.
Is it sad that when you mentioned this topic, that was the first thing I thought of?
Yeah, that is sad. Wait, that's very sad.
We used to chew gum a lot too, and there were like, I don't know, I think this is probably counts like the whole, I don't know, can you digest gum? 'Cause I remember like the whole like if you swallow that gum, it'll be in your body forever or whatever it was. It's like I was so afraid to swallow gum that I always spat it out earlier than I wanted to because I was afraid I would just swallow it.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I just thought about this recently. Point for making me remember something. But I just thought about this recently because I was in the car and I didn't have something to spit out my gum into. I was about to swallow the gum, but there's this inherent thing in my brain where my dad told me to don't swallow gum or else it'll be in your stomach forever. And it made me think about it, and I looked it up, and there actually is a problem if small children swallow a lot of gum. They can get intestinal blockages.
Oh.
And because I've had an intestinal blockage, it's not so much for adults because like your intestines are literally bigger, but it's when you're a kid, your intestines are kind of small. So like a small amount of gum or a relatively smaller amount of gum can cause an intestinal blockage. And I bet if you did eat a lot of gum as an adult and swallowed a lot of it, like a couple packs worth, you would get an intestinal blockage. But that is a thing that can happen to a kid. And back in the day, you know, it's like, it's harder to, well, I guess they didn't have gum back in the day. I'm making rampant conclusions about nothing.
I don't know how back in the day you're going, but they've had gum for pretty far back. Like in the last century, there's been gum the whole time.
Yeah, so I'm sure there are cases where a kid swallows a lot of gum that their parents don't know about, so suddenly they just come down with this horrible pain in their gut, and they're like, I don't know what to do, and their guts just explode.
Better bleed them and put leeches on their eyes.
Yeah, well.
Not that far back, right?
Oh.
It's not. I don't think they had gum that far back.
Wasn't that just like 100 years ago that they did that kind of stuff?
I mean, like 200 years ago, there's that president I was just listening to. I think it was the last podcast talking about whatever president it was that he got shot, but he survived. He got shot in the back, and for like a month, their doctor was like, "We gotta find the bullet." And this is literally like 4 or 5 years after germ theory got proposed as like, hey, there might be bacteria. But these doctors were like old school doctors, so they didn't believe in this new age idea of bacteria or germs. So they thought it was just the bullet that was causing the president to decline in health. So for 2 months, this doctor was fishing around in the president's bullet wound with his grubby, dirty hands, being like, we gotta find this bullet, it's killing this guy. So, and like just the amount of pus that they had to clear out from his wound. And they were like, this bullet, it's really pussing this guy up. So
Guy's like eating chicken, like licking his fingers, dipping them back in.
I mean, legitimately, yeah, that was the case. So, yeah, no, but that was 200 years ago. I don't know if they had chewing gum at that time.
Not sure. When was chewing gum invented?
Why are you looking at that? Isn't hair a similar thing?
Oh
Like
my.
people that like chew on their hair, swallow hair, kick hair,
Can't
cause
run
any kind of
from me.
blockage is gum. I remember my cousin used to chew on her hair, and she would like eat parts of her hair, and they said the same thing. It's like if you swallow your hair.
Boy.
I mean, I don't think that's as prevalent of an issue, but, you know, if you look at your shower drain, I'm sure that, you know, your intestines aren't too much different than, like, pipes.
Yeah, I've never digested my shower drain.
No, not the conclusion.
This sounds just delicious, guys.
Yeah?
In the late 1840s, John Curtis developed the first commercial chewing gum by boiling spruce tree resin down into a thick, chewy, disgusting tree goop, and then cutting it into strips and coating it in cornstarch.
I mean, isn't that just how gum is made?
No, well, I don't know. I'm not going to say that I'm an expert on gum, but I don't think it's spruce tree resin anymore. I think it's probably something else.
Yeah, it's probably like a nice maple.
Wait, no. What is gum? Point for your research, but hang on. What is gum made out of? Isn't it still like...
Chewing gum is composed of gum base. Wait, what is gum base?
Yeah, what is gum base? I think gum base is from, like, tree sap. Oh, God. Oh, whoa. Conspiracy. The actual composition of gum base is a trade secret. The FDA allows 46 different chemicals under the umbrella of gum base. What?
I don't like this.
Whoa.
There are the synthetic ingredients allowed in gum base are butadiene styrene rubber, isobutylene isoprene copolymer, which is butyl rubber, paraffin wax, petroleum wax, synthetic petroleum wax, polyethylene, polyisobutylene, and polyvinyl acetate, which is another type of plastic.
Is petroleum wax like a gasoline candle?
What's that stuff? Petroleum jelly. Yeah, Vaseline.
Yeah.
Well, that's what goes on your butt when it's sore.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead. You guys talk.
When does your butt get sore? And how do you put that on
When
there?
I was very tiny, it's not a recent thing, I promise.
Yeah.
Just last week, Mommy helped me with my sorcerer and got me some Vaseline.
Okay, man.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either. Anyway, Bob, point for tangent. Wow, yeah. Getting back to the topic at hand, though.
Stalkers.
Outside of chewing gum, were there other lies that your parents or you were told as a child? Because I remember a tangentially similar one where if you drank Mountain Dew, it would kill your sperm count, which is something I was told as a teenager, and I think that just spread through high school, but I think that's an equivalent thing, and I don't know why I was so worried about my sperm count as a teenager. It really freaked me out in the same way. Same with Surge. Like, I think Surge, like, you would get a heart attack from Surge, which might be true, because there was a lot of caffeine in Surge.
I had a combination one. It was the Mountain Dew sperm count, and then if you don't use a condom, you'll get her pregnant. But listen, if you do both of those things, you're fine. Just chug a Mountain Dew and then go on a sex spree. I'm kidding. Don't do it.
Are you? How many times did you go on a Mountain Dew infused sex rage? Alright, well, you go on those. I'll give you a point for every Mountain Dew infused sex rage that you go on.
Oh, and I went on a lot. Let me count them up.
No. You
I'm
report
going on one
back.
right now. Hang on. Molly, I got Mountain Dew.
Oh God.
It's party night.
Yeah, anyway. Okay. I'll give you a point for the perspective to infuse sex rage that you're about to
Thank
go
you.
on, and then one for every subsequent one. But anyway, lies. Get back to the lies.
I'm trying to think, and I'm not sure if I just didn't listen to my parents,
I know one that we all have missed, like some big ones.
or if my parents were just really direct. I don't know. I mean, I'm a pretty direct person. When I speak pretty plainly, and I feel like I got that from my parents.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of our interactions, which I will say, I don't know exactly when it was. I think it was sometime in high school when my parents realized they should stop putting so much effort in with me and just let it happen, because I really just contravened all their efforts at every opportunity.
Yeah.
But like, we would have interactions where they're like, "You don't need caffeine. Don't have caffeine right now." And I'd be like, "What? Why? I want a Mountain Dew. I have too many sperm." And they wouldn't like come up with anything. They would just be like, "No, you can't. I said you can't, so you can't." And that would just be the end of it.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
not sure. There were no like big lies I'm remembering, like you're talking about, where it's like the coffee thing. But like, I know I'm aware of those, but they're all from like the zeitgeist or something. Like there's something I became aware of because I heard of them, and they may have impacted me, but not directly from my parents, which is weird, I guess.
What about like Santa Claus existing and Easter Bunny and all that stuff? Did your parents like those are lies?
Oh yeah, that all qualifies as lies. Yeah, good point. You get a point for a good point. Wait, whoa, Bob, you okay? Bob, you okay?
Oh no!
What do you mean?
What have I done?
What do you mean? Santa Claus doesn't live at the North Pole? Is that the lie?
Well, there might be someone up there named that, but it's not the one that delivers presents in your chimney.
Well, who's the one who delivers presents? Because that's the guy that, like...
I think it might be your parents.
This is a related side tangent, but when I remember when I first became skeptical of Santa existing, and I was like, I know my mom. I know she's the one putting presents under the tree, and I'm gonna prove it. And I made my mom, like my brother and I conspired to make my mom stay like in our room with us, so she like slept in our room. And we went out there, we were like, there's no presents under the tree. My mom came in, slept in our room, and at this point my mom and dad like split up and everything, so like there was no other adult in the house. And so we laid there, like tried to stay awake as late as we could. And then like we thought we heard something, and we got really quiet and listened, and we're like, okay, let's go check. And we ran out, and there all of a sudden were presents and stuff everywhere, everywhere. They were all under the tree, like and stuff like they were supposed to be. And we were like, oh my god, Santa, he was really here. It turns out my mom had just told my older brother and sister, who already knew, to go ahead and do it for her so that we could keep the dream alive. But we totally bought it. Like for a couple of years, we were like, you know what? Nope, Santa's real. We proved it. We thought for sure we'd proved it.
I feel like such a douchebag right now. I'm having like an internal debate about whether I just think I'm smarter than I actually am, or whether I was this kid that I'm imagining in my head. I feel like I never believed in Santa, and I feel like my brother didn't either.
Yeah.
We never had that moment of like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, Sean and I, my brother Sean, younger brother, we used to like stay up late, you know, do the traditional thing. We both just knew. Like, and there was one year when like I was in high school and Sean was like almost in middle school, I think. We're getting older, and like before Christmas at some point my dad was like, we're not doing Santa this year. And both Sean and I were like, that's fair. It's been going on a long time. Like, no one ever said anything. My parents never explained it. Sean and I never had like a discussion about it. We would just stay up Christmas, and Christmas morning you do that thing where like, oh, Santa got me an N64. Oh, that guy. And we like look at each other. That's such a weird construct, and it makes me feel like such a douchebag, right? Because like I wasn't like that smart. I don't know why. I was just always skeptical, or I don't know. Maybe it was given away when I was really young and I don't remember. But like, I don't know. It's a weird thing in our house because everyone in the house knew that no one in the house believed for a second that was actually happening. But my parents would do the whole rigmarole, and Sean and I would always be like, "Oh, Santa came and he ate the cookies. He drank like half the glass of milk. Unbelievable. Let's open these presents."
I'm going to give you a point for that because I feel like I was the same way with me and my brother, but in a weirdly tangential way where we thought our parents believed in Santa, so we believed in Santa for their sake.
Wait, where do you think the presents came from?
Like 10-year-old Mark is like opening the Santa present like, "Oh, nice, Dad, nice. You remember?" And your dad is like, "What did Santa get you?" And you're like very condescending, like, "Oh, Dad, how did he even know that I wanted this? I had talked to you about this, but I didn't even write him this year. Wow, Dad, he's magical." And in your head, you're just like, what the fuck is wrong with these parents, man? God damn.
Yeah, no. Oh, good. And you know, that reminds me of the things my dad would I don't know why, but the things that my dad said to me that were true, I did not believe. Like, my dad said, "Don't stare at the sun.
Can't run from
It'll
me."
make you go blind." And I said to myself, bullshit. Like, there's no way. So I stared at the sun a lot as a kid. I'm pretty sure it's caused damage up until this point. It was one of those things where it's like, you know, he tells me a very legitimate thing that's definitely true, like don't stare at the sun, you'll go blind. But if he tells me, don't drink coffee, it'll stunt your growth, that puts a fear in me. But no, I was out in the backyard for minutes on end just looking up at that sun, just being like, I'm gonna see how long. It's literally a Brian Regan joke.
Yeah, what's your record for the sun stare?
The sun stare.
1, 2, 3, 4,
30
5.
seconds plus. I would stare at it for
God.
way too long. Like, kids, adults, any humans listening to this, do not stare at the sun. It is so horrible for your eyes.
Go for it.
Unless you like to find things out for yourself, in which case, be careful.
Spot, you stupid little dog. You go ahead and go out there and stare all you want. He said humans only.
I feel like Chica does stare at the sun
Chica
because she
probably
really does like lights. She likes lights on the walls. So what's the biggest light and the biggest wall is the sun in the sky. And I feel like she just stares at the sun. No, she's outside sometimes and she's just like squinting upwards. And I'm like, what are you doing, Chica? Like, she looks over at me like, oh, nothing. I'm not doing nothing.
Hanging out with son, Dad. I'm so glad you came back.
Yeah.
Weird little, I don't know, I guess maybe like a meta question, but with the Santa Claus talk and stuff, how many people that are not supposed to be listed this because they're too young just had Santa spoiled by us?
Oh, grow up.
God.
Grow up. Come on.
Wait, do we need to put a disclaimer on this or something?
I don't know.
It's like a seizure warning.
It's called lies parents tell their kids, so I feel like most parents with their kids may not want to listen to it together.
You know that we've all had that experience at a convention or whatever where some adult, we're doing a meet and greet or something, and some adult walks up and you're like, oh, hey, how's it going? Like, nice to meet you. And then from behind the adult walks out like a little 4-year-old. And the adult is like, yeah, I don't know who you are. My daughter watches you. And you're like,
Yeah.
yeah. Don't. What, don't you check? Don't you know what we do? So you know there's some kids out there who just absolutely had their entire lives ruined, Mark.
Yeah, pretty much.
I found out from my cousin that, I guess, is it your second cousin? Like, what's your cousin's kids to you? I don't know. Whatever that
Can't
is,
run from
second
me.
cousin or nieces and great nephew.
Cousins and cousins?
No, that's a cousin twice removed.
Oh, okay.
Because the removed is generation.
My ex-cousin, whatever they are, little things. Apparently, they came across some of our content, and they were like, "Yeah, I saw you on the internet, and you were with some people." I was like, "You haven't listened to the podcast, though, right?" They're like, "No." I was like, "Oh, not with them. You can do it by yourself, but don't let the little ones listen, please." But it's always terrifying when someone like under the age of 30 listens to our stuff. 40? Is that too young? 30 too young?
Under 30, under 40. Wait, wait, what?
What?
Our content is not meant for normal mortal ears.
Wait, I have a serious question for you.
Yeah.
At what age does a person become an adult in your mind?
Oh, 55.
Well, I guess that explains a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, you get a solid 10 years before retirement, and you get discount on your breakfast when you become an adult.
Are you an adult right now?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess there's a lot of things.
That's why I had to have help with the Vaseline on my bum bum.
Man, every time you mention Vaseline on your bum bum from here on out, I'm gonna deduct a point because I just don't want to hear it anymore.
Good.
I'm not gonna do it now, but in the future, just so you know, you're on thin ice.
Great. So was my bum bum, but now it's doing a lot better.
That's a point. That's a point. That's a point gone. That's a point gone.
Hey listeners, The Beautiful Liar is an incredible new narrative fiction podcast, a new kind of superhero story that you've got to check out, inspired by songs from the band X-Ambassadors. This original story features actors Rory Ann Dahl and Schitt's Creek star Emily Hampshire. The Beautiful Liar has amazing
crashed.
sound design, stellar music, and compelling storytelling that will draw you in further with every episode. The show is available wherever you get your podcasts, but Amazon Music listeners can hear new episodes a couple weeks early and ad-free. Go to Amazon Music and search for The Beautiful Liar to start listening now.
I know how to earn another point. I thought of more lies, Mark. I got more lies.
Okay, good. It is lies and sex rampages. That's what
I've
gets
got
you point
lies,
this one.
please.
Okay, good.
Oh, I could go on a sex rampage. How many points is for me?
Dude, it's a point for every sex rampage you go
Do you
on.
want to do a double date rampage?
Date rampage. Yeah, man. That sounds like what I'm here for.
Oh, good.
Massage, but it's like a double couple sex rampage.
I believe they just call that an orgy, man.
What if that was the way that you posed it, though? You're going out on like a Tinder date or something. You met someone. You get to the coffee shop and you're sort of chatting for a minute. And then you sort of have that pause where it's like, hey, what's going on?
Excuse me.
It's okay, my friend and his wife will be there too.
Well, also, I hate that I had to look up this question, but I had to look up what the minimum number of people in an orgy is.
What's the answer?
4?
I think it's 4 because you have the three. No. You have a threesome and then there's a foursome, but an orgy is 5 or more.
Oh.
According to this person on Quora.
Do they have to interact with each other to be an orgy? Or can you have like 3 couples in a room just like separated, but it still counts as an orgy because they're in the same room?
Does it have to be sex to be an orgy?
Yeah.
I would assume something sexual.
Does oral count as an orgy? An oralgy?
I think anything
Okay.
sexual counts as orgy.
Because I may have been in an orgy once then.
Oh, interesting.
Did your parents tell you not to?
Go on.
No. I'm pretty sure if I had asked my dad what an orgy was and if I should participate if invited, he would have been like, wear a condom, I guess. Be safe, buddy.
Drink Mountain Dew and wear a condom, I guess.
Dad, I got invited to an orgy. What is that? And should I go?
Don't eat carrots this week because I don't want you to see what you're doing.
I'm going to need you to drink one of these right before you go and try and drink at least a couple. When is it? This weekend? Drink at least a couple this week, okay? Just, like, why, Dad? Keep your energy up, you know. No reason. But no, so the scene I'm remembering is in high school. I was in band my senior year and I was dating a girl, and we were sort of like a group of guy friends and a group of girlfriends, and we were all sort of dating each other. You know, that sort of happens in high school. So we were all like just a big group of friends hanging out all the time. It was after pep band. My girlfriend had a huge full-size van, like a GMC 3500 van, like a bed in the back. And I don't know what precipitated this, but 3 couples, so 6 of us, ended up all in this van. We each had like our own row, and we were all just like it was all very high school, you know, pretty innocent stuff. Basically like a
Can't
group
run from
makeout
me.
session. And there was no inter-couple making out. But does that count? Because if I could say I have been in an orgy, that's a hell of a icebreaker.
Well, I don't think that counts because if making out, I don't think qualifies.
But that's like sexual. It's intimate.
Intimacy is not what orgies are. Well, no, I can't say that. I've never been
You have an
in. I've never
intimate
been in the
orgy.
proximity.
What
of
base do you have to be on to count as an orgy? Does first base not count?
I mean, what about second base? I feel like first base.
Everyone's been in a makeout pile before. That does not an orgy
What?
make.
Okay, how many makeout piles
I
have
have
you
not.
been in, Mark?
I've never been in a makeout pile.
Oh, cool. Well, I guess we all know who's the fawns in this group. I'm assuming Wade's never been in a makeout pile.
Well, it's not a pile, but we had 3 or 4 couples making out in the same room, but it was like, you know, a good old 18 by 12 room, so there was lots of space between.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Look, I don't think that any of this can count because, okay, well, actually maybe. Okay, so if 2 people are having sex, but there's like a ring of 10 people as observers in this, like in the olden days when you had to consummate a marriage, but there had to be witnesses around the bed watching, you know what I mean? Like, does that constitute as an
Excuse me?
That's a lie my parents told. When you have sex the first time, we have to witness it.
At my wedding, at the end of the reception, I was like, all right, we're going back to the hotel. We're going to consummate it. And all my creepy uncles were like, yeah. And my dad was like, you know, son, historically, it's actually not a legal marriage unless you have someone witness the consummation. And my mom was like, no, don't do that. But dad was like, so can I watch?
Like a sporting event, they're like drinking beer, like, he's in! Woo! Touchdown!
And I was like, I don't want to disrespect history, so is that really a thing, Mark? Where did you get that from? Where did you draw that from?
I don't know. There's that scene in Game of Thrones where, like, wasn't it Game of Thrones when they go to? No. It was the Tudors. No. It was more historically accurate. It was like the Tudors, which was a show about like Henry the 42nd or whatever it is, and the one lady went down to be married to this old king or whatever, and then they did the thing, and there was like a whole ring of people. I don't know. Look, I'm not a historian. I'm not a historical orgy historian. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just the judge. I judge you guys' story. This isn't about me.
I just imagine them holding hands, like swaying and like singing a song to them as they're like trying to get it on.
A Gregorian chant of "Let's Get It On" starts in the background.
God, that reminds me of my favorite scene from. Did you guys watch Rome?
No.
No.
Like, it was an HBO show, Rome. It only had like 2 seasons, but in the second season there was a scene where the second main guy had sex with Cleopatra, but there were 3 women in the background just going.
What, just watching?
Like, I am not exaggerating. They were singing this weird chant thing, but they were going. Like while the guys got Cleopatra up against a wall, and it's just like I remember watching this. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? HBO just really wants to have sex in every scene, or this is actually what happened in ancient days. And I'm like, this is so fucking weird.
Eat this.
That's like
That's all right. Well, anyway, we didn't answer that.
We all, or none of us, maybe had orgies.
No, Mark didn't. Mark didn't. Maybe Wade and I did though.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Big maybe.
I think that either 5 or 6 seems to be the internet's. Wait, 4 is 2 swinging couples, 5 is 2 swinging couples and a looky-loo. 6 is an orgy.
Well, next time we all get together, we can rectify this and make sure that we've had an orgy if you guys want.
Not putting any Vaseline on your bum.
Does he lose a point? Because he brought it up that time.
All right, Bob, I hate to do this, but you mentioned Vaseline on a bum bum. I gotta deduct a point.
I know. Well, I'm not gonna let Wade lose all the points for once.
Hey, my man.
All right, bringing it back to lies our parents told us,
right,
which is
right,
the
right.
topic of conversation today.
I brought up another one indirectly on accident, and that was the whole like carrots. Eating carrots will like make you supervision or something to fix your vision.
Oh, right.
That's a thing.
That's
I
a
mean,
good one, yeah.
Not in like a comedic TV show way, but in like a totally serious. Yeah, I believe it was in World War I or World War II. British pilots ate just like as many carrots as they could get in there, and it actually did help with their vision, made them better pilots.
Oh, that's a real thing. It's not
Is
a
that a
lie.
fact?
It's a real thing.
Well, they're good for your eyes. That's the thing about all these things.
Yeah.
That most lies are based in some kind of truth. Same with fairy tales. Like a lot of the fairy tales are actually like lies parents told children about monsters in the woods, because it's not so much that there's a monster in the wood, but there are wolves and there are bears in the woods, and you don't really want to go there because it's dangerous. So a lot of lies are based in a need of safety for your child, to put the fear in perspective. Because you can say like, oh, there's a wolf in the woods. It doesn't really mean a lot. But if you say there's a werewolf, which is a man-sized wolf that'll gobble you up in a single bite, like that puts the perspective for a child like all together. It helps connect the dots, I think, anyway.
I get that.
What about swimming after eating? Because I still don't usually swim right after I eat. Is that a lie, or is that? I mean, I know obviously you're gonna choke on it or something like that, but is that real?
That's a good point and a point for that, but because I literally ate and I have a pool and I was like, I'm gonna go swimming, but I ate and I'm like, oh God, will I die? Like I literally was hesitant to go in the pool after I ate because I was like, I think I might die if I go in the pool. And then I was like, yeah, fuck it. And I went in the pool and I was fine, but no.
Yeah, to this day I still don't swim right after I eat. I wasn't told I would like drown. I was told like I'd get cramps or something like.
So some quick Googling has revealed to me, and I'm sure this is 100% accurate, swimming right after you've eaten isn't really dangerous. The concern was that digestion diverts some of your blood flow from your extremities to your stomach and digestive tract, and that swimming and being active would somehow inhibit your digestion by making you active, and could cause like muscle cramps. You could be weakened because your body's not doing the digestion and not doing the muscles, so it could cause you to like not swim good and potentially drown or be in danger. But like, that's very non-threatening to me.
Point for the research, but so by that logic, if you get a boner while you're in the pool,
you're
you
dead.
will sink. You're dead.
You're dead.
Or you could have a porgy.
Orgy?
Yeah, pool orgy.
What?
Orgy.
Like you're really dropping the L, completely ruining the word cool for no reason.
Oh, a
But
pool G. But then I'm losing the R in orgy.
those are two very short words. Why can't it be plorgy or plorgy?
An orjule.
I feel like orgy is a poor man's orgy, and I feel like anyone can have an orgy.
Poor man's orgy.
Orgies don't discriminate, man. Everybody's got ground.
We had a solid foursome in place, but I really wanted an orgy, so I drew a face on a bucket and put it on a broom handle, and we tossed that in there.
Oh my god.
Is it an orgy if it's for like sex dolls or something, like for non-living things?
No, that's just sad.
An artiforgy.
An artiforgy.
Yeah, an artificial orgy, an artiforgy.
It's, I believe the posh term is AO.
I feel like artiforgy is like someone would get really offended if they walked by a window and looked in. They see 5 bodies, but like, oh, an orgy. Wait a minute, and they double take. It's an artiforgy. Those are sex dolls.
What's the guy's name who wrote Art of War? It'd be like that, but it'd be an Art of Orgy. Art of Orgy.
Sun Tzu's artiforgy.
His other lesser known.
In his day, it was just wooden dolls
Oh no.
with holes filled with oiled canvas.
God, I'm gonna look up something I might regret. I'm looking up earliest sex doll.
Oh no. Earliest dildo.
Oh boy, the earliest sex doll was credited to Dutch sailors in the 17th century who used a doll made of cloth to relieve sexual tension during long sea voyages.
Oh, they shared?
Oh, the
It's-
first
of
Raggedy
course.
Ann doll.
Oh man.
I mean, that just makes it seem like it's a body pillow, right? Because that's not too far off.
I guess, yeah, but that's like a crunchy, salty canvas filled with beans situation. Yeah, it's at sea, Wade. Why do you think it's crunchy?
Oh, I was thinking like the sloppy seconds and thirds was crunchy after the first use.
No, well, you dip her in the sea to clean her
Run
off.
from me.
That's not much better.
Just make sure there's no razor clams clinging on anywhere before you start.
I can't deduct points from both of you, but I deduct points from myself for looking this up in the first place. But there's even more history to it, because later the Dutch sold some of these dolls to Japanese people during the Rangaku period, and the term Dutch wives is still sometimes used in Japan to refer to sex dolls.
Oh my God, you just know there's a small community, maybe it's not that small, of Japanese men who have found and married Dutch women, and who have at some point in their life been talking to their grandparents and been like, yeah, so my Dutch wife is going to be coming when we visit. We'll both, and the grandparent is just like, you're what?
I've got one of those too.
Oh God. Okay, no, that's better or worse?
Oh man, guys, I'm diving deep into the history here. There's an interesting thing. German surrealist artist Hans Bellmer has been described as the father figure of the modern sex doll for his sex puppets in the 1930s, whose more realistic models moved sex dolls further into the future. A report that, as part of the Borghild project, Nazi Germany made sex dolls for soldiers during World War II, but it has not been verified by a reliable source and is now considered to be a hoax. It is, however, said that the commercial sex doll has its origins in Germany, especially since the creation of the Bild Lilly doll in the 1950s, which was, in turn, the inspiration for creating the Barbie doll.
Ooh.
So that took so many turns.
What a weird twisting tale. What the hell?
What a nice doll. You want to have sex with it? No. What if we make it for kids? All right.
Yeah, Mattel acquired the rights for Bild Lilly in 1964, and production of the German doll ceased in favor of Mattel's new vinyl doll called the Barbie.
Imagine like a Build-A-Bear where you just go and build your own sex doll and figure out what kind of stuffing.
Wait, so that's implying to you that the Bild Lilly doll was some kind of sex doll?
That's what this is saying.
I think
but
it was
maybe...
it inspired
This,
it.
if you Google the Bild Lilly doll, it's described on the Wikipedia as a German fashion doll launched in August of 1955, produced until 1964. It was designed based on the comic strip character Lily, created by Reinhard Buthine.
Oh, I see. There's a comma here, which I think is making this seem a... There is a comma.
Punctuation matters.
That's an important comma.
Okay, it's separate. Yeah, it is an important comma, because the thing I just read was, it is, however, said that the commercial sex doll has its origins in Germany, comma, especially since the creation of the Bild Lilly doll in the 1950s. Those are separate things that, like, that comma is very important because it makes it seem like the Bild Lilly doll is a sex doll, but it's not.
It still implies that whoever wrote that, let's be honest, probably a dude based on the way it's phrased, looked at, and if you Google pictures, the Bild Lilly doll looks like a Barbie. Like, it looks like an old Barbie. If you told me that was just like a 1950s Barbie, I'd believe it.
Yeah,
the dude who wrote that looks at Barbies and is like, oh yeah, you just know she likes it dirty. How do I get a life-size Barbie? Like, what? That's not a doll for kids. That's not a sex toy at all. That's like saying, like, the dildo is thought to originate from early 20th century America because, as we all know, the
What the hell
American
did you guys kill?
pastime, baseball, famous
Oh, shit.
for its balls and baseball bats, which are essentially the same shape as a dildo, were the first recorded. Like, what? That's not a sex thing.
Wait, stop the presses.
No.
Bild Lilly doll is based on a comic. I'm putting an
That's what I
image
said.
in. No, but look at the comic.
Oh, okay. Is it like a porn comic?
It's not.
Oh man, she's naked.
Bild Lilly.
That's a calm G.
Bild. Shut up and take your point for the callback. Shut up.
I mean, that's okay. That's kind of like a pin-up sort of thing, I guess.
Lily was a German call girl.
Oh shit.
So its origins are not necessarily that it's a sex doll, but it's a character that is based on a sex worker.
To describe the images we're looking at, viewers, there's, I guess, Lily getting
it over here?
changed in like behind
There
a
he
curtain,
is.
and a guy's hands like a camera taking a photo from above, and then
Oh, I didn't see the hands holding the camera.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
Yeah. Then there's one of Lily like in a bikini.
It's called lingerie, Wade.
Then there's one of Lily dressed like a Playboy bunny drawing a donkey.
She's a Playboy donkey.
Yeah.
Just a playgirl. It's as simple as a donkey.
And then I guess the last one's Lily in lingerie.
They're all lingerie, Wade.
Yeah.
It's lingerie.
I like the guy's faces in all of these too.
He's like,
I'm sorry.
No,
I need
it's
XP.
They're definitely not the face of a man who's currently able to say words. All of these are, except for the guy where all you see is his hand sticking up over the thing that she's changing behind with the camera. His sound is something like.
All of these dudes look like they could have a hand on their crotch. There's only one hand shown in each of these.
That's true.
Yeah, no, you're right, 100%. Hands in a pocket in every single one of these, except for the hands of the camera guy.
Camera spy guy's the nicest of the 4 men. Who knew?
He's not doing anything sketchy.
Well, you don't know that there's not another guy giving him a reach around back there.
That's true.
There's actually 2 guys. One each has one hand on the camera, and then each of them has their own hand on their own.
They're having a cam G.
It's a peeping Tom orgy, a peep orgy.
Peep orgy.
A peep orgy.
That doesn't sound good at all.
It's not.
I can't believe our parents told us all this stuff when we were young.
The lie our parents said was that Barbie dolls are wholesome. It's all bullshit.
Oh God.
All right, well, I'm gonna bring this one to a close, guys, because we have really gotten off track, which is about when these episodes need to end. They need to be taken out back and shot. So I'm taking this episode out back and I'm shooting it. All right, I actually did the points in a spreadsheet this time, so I'm gonna tabulate this. And bam.
It's like several points each. There's no way you need to tabulate this.
And I'm tabulating it. I did it in. No, that's not right. Hang on, wait.
You gotta put an equal sign, and then sum, and then a parenthesis.
Oh God, I know. How do I get the sum? What is the sum function?
Just type it. Just type it. Just type
Right,
equals
it's just
sum
sum.
open
You're
parenthesis.
Right, you're right.
And then
you're
you
right,
can
okay.
type, or you can click and drag,
Sum.
depending on
It's
how many
been
cells
so
you
long
use.
since I've used.
Hurry up! It's my Vaseline time.
And then if you want to just fill that in the bottom right corner of the one cell where you wrote the equation, if you just click the little square and drag it down, it'll. Okay.
Okay, all right. So, summing the totals, Wade had more deductions, but did have more points. Wade wins 5-3.
Wow. I feel like you just stopped giving me points after the first like.
You
10
had
minutes.
to do sum total to get 5-3.
Hey, I'm deducting a point for your sass there,
That's
but it
right.
still would put you up.
Oh, you know what? Deduct another one for my bum.
I'm not going to. The points are not close. Wade wins 4-3, and Bob, for the record, Wade did have more childhood lies, which definitely does reflect a childhood of more trauma.
No, but I did all that research.
I gave you points for research. I did.
Scant points. I did a lot more research.
No, that
than
was predominantly your point source was for your research and your tangents. However, Wade did have more lies as a child.
Well, my parents told me that I'd be a success. That's definitely a lie. What else can I chuck in here? My parents told me I was handsome. We've all learned that's not true.
No, it's all true. You're handsome and you are a success.
And they tell me all the time they love me, but I have yet to receive that sweet inheritance. So I guess we'll find out.
Oh yeah, and my mom told me if I didn't play basketball and talk to other kids, I'd be a nerd and a loser. And look at the winner I've become.
Yeah, definitely. Well, too late. Points are not closed. Wade, congratulations. Would
Thank
you like
you.
to make an acceptance speech at this
Yes.
moment?
Unbelievable. Except when do we do speeches? That's not a thing we do.
Thank you, Mark, for this victory. Thank you, Bob, for losing. Thank you, all of you who know that I deserve this. I hope your parents are as cruel to you as ours were to us. Thank you.
Terrible speech.
Santa's not real!
Okay, and with that, thank you everybody at home. Thank you, Bob, for joining me. It was
Not
wonderful.
welcome.
You can find Bob at My Skirm on many places on the internet. Wade, you can find the winner on Minion777 on Twitch or Lord Minion777 on YouTube. And as always, you can find us here at Distractable every Monday. We upload at a certain time in the morning.
A Destroorgy!
Every time you listen to Distractable, it
That
is...
seems like he should lose a point for that.
Nah, it's too late. The points are now closed. He is now the winner, therefore he is pretty much the judge from this point on. Enjoy your Distorgy every morning on Mondays. Thank you for listening. Follow us on whatever podcast app you're listening to, and have a lovely day. We'll see you next week.
Podcasts!
Out!
There you go. You got there.
Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractable, a Wood Elf production with your hosts, Bonkers Bob, Watchful Wade, and Mercurial Mark. This week, the caddish cadre claimed the quarrel of Cupid to calm the curious heart. Yes, it's time for dating advice. Too rich for my blood these days. Please prepare thy queries and enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, podcast this is. I am Wade, hosting Distractable. Welcome to it with Mark and Bob.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Actually, for the mood that I'm in, that was about right. I kind of followed you.
We were talking a little bit before I started this one about how good my intros to the podcast hosting is. I want to make sure I gave this one my all. So, welcome.
I feel welcome. You're welcome. I'm sure everyone at home feels welcome.
Good. Now that you're all welcome. How you guys doing?
Oh, I'm
Bad.
good. Okay.
I'm gonna complain about a.
I'll do it, Bob.
I honestly, I was trying to work this into a whole story. Not that long of a story. It's just really
Fridge
sad.
got you down?
No, I ordered a laptop.
I hate those.
I'm gonna finally get a new laptop. I've been using the same MSI since like 2016, I think. And it was a good laptop, but it's getting old. And I ordered a nice one.
Yeah.
I ordered a sweet one. It's just tasty. I paid out the nose for it. The
Okay.
MacBook Pro, i9, 8 gigs of VRAM, or whatever the new type of video RAM is.
What flavor?
Space gray flavor.
Ooh.
It's a banger of a laptop. I ordered it September 2nd. It's almost October now. And I just got a message today from Best Buy. I ordered it through Best Buy because that's where I have like a credit card with them. And they were like, we don't know if you're getting a laptop. If it doesn't come by like October 1st, we'll just issue you a refund. Sorry, bud. And I was like, what? When I ordered, first of all, it said have it by September like 17th, like the middle of the month, just a couple weeks. And I was like, man, a couple weeks? All right, well, I'll get exactly what I want. It'll be fine. Just I've been waiting for a whole month for Best Buy to just be like, actually, we never had that laptop. Here's your money back, you fucking idiot.
Well,
But that's really, I mean, that's a very first world problem. My life will go on without it. But like, I love tech, right? And so I went all out. This was going to be the most expensive, fanciest name brand laptop I've ever had. No, never mind. I guess.
just never mind. It's like you have a dream and you're just like, oh boy, I can't wait. I've been thinking about it. Never mind. You know, just,
I've never had a store do this to me. Like if I went to a McDonald's drive-thru,
Yeah.
and I went to the sign and I was like, 1 Big Mac, sir, with fries and a drink. Make it nice. And then I got to the window and they were like, it's not ready, and just
Our
go.
burger machine is down for cleaning.
Here's your money back, sir. Just go ahead. Just sorry. Like what? No,
Just
fucking.
sorry.
Why did you let me order that then?
Oh god, I love that. I hate it for you, but man.
We didn't know the burger machine was not working. Sorry.
It's not on par with the fridge story, but like, it's disappointing. I'm sad.
That's less rage. That's more just sad.
I get that. I ordered a car in July, and I still don't think I'm getting that.
Oh yeah, what happened? I don't know if it's like.
Oh, you don't have your car?
No, yeah, I saw
No.
you tweeting about like, oh, I don't have the car, and I was like, wasn't he supposed to pick that car up a while ago?
I gotta call them again because apparently Lexus shut down 2 plants or something, and my order got canceled. They called me about it, and I called them back whenever we kind of back and forth, and they were like, actually, turns out your order shouldn't have been canceled at all. We're gonna put you back on the list. I was like, all right, cool. But back in the spot I was in, right? Not to the bottom where I'm gonna wait another 5 or 6 months, right? Oh my God. And I told them I would think about it, and I haven't actually called them back. So I've got nothing in the works for a car as of right this moment. There's still nothing going on with the car.
Oh man. Well, I mean, there's only so much. You get kicked in the dick. You don't exactly want to go back for seconds, you know? It's like, man, you guys really didn't do me right last time. I'm ready to be disappointed again.
I just don't know what I want to get. I don't know what to get. Help me.
You should get a Hyundai Veloster N.
Subreddit, tell me if I should get a Hyundai Velociraptor.
It's a cool car, man. It's cool. It's a little hatchback. It's got a sporty little engine. It goes vroom vroom.
Oh, I don't like hatchbacks. They're like minivans.
Didn't you order a hatchback? What
No.
exactly car did you get?
No, it looked very similar to like the FRS that I had. It looks like that, but it was like the Lexus version.
A Veloster.
Hyundai Veloster N. It's a new spec that came out this year. It's a sporty spec. Can get a manual transmission, but you don't have. I've been researching it. It's a cool looking car.
I don't like hatchbacks. They're like minivans.
Fine, it's not a hatchback, Wade.
Oh, I want it
just a
then.
car.
I want it now.
It sure looks like a hatchback.
It's not a hat. It's got a long trunk.
Oh.
A long non-hatch trunk.
I'm tempted. Before, listen, we're going off on another tangent. We haven't even gotten to the tangent part. Mark, why is your day better than Bob's? Bob, 3 points for your misery.
I didn't know. I woke up nice. I took a walk this morning. I don't know.
All right, Mark, 4 points for you because you're having a better day than Bob.
Everything
Run
went
from
well.
me.
Everything I've ordered has come in a timely manner. Like I've never been disappointed by a company because they fear my retributions. And also, I don't set myself up for disappointment.
Do you have a car?
I car, yes. Actually,
Can I
no,
have
wait.
one?
Wait, my car don't work right.
Oh yeah, you having more Tesla issues?
Yeah, I am. So here's a fun one. You know how doors normally open on cars?
Yes.
Well, sure.
You pull the handle and it opens.
Oh yeah. Well, mine don't have a handle you pull anyway. There's no handle to pull. It's a button, right? And so that door don't open.
Maybe that's all the doors. All of your doors have buttons.
Oh, no. All the other doors open. My door doesn't
Oh,
open.
just the driver's door doesn't
Just
open?
the driver door doesn't
Oh, that's
open.
kind of a pivotal door.
I know, right? It's an important
Well,
one.
thankfully it's a cheap fix because Tesla parts are only like 15 grand a piece, right?
Oh yeah. So what happened was it ran out of battery because for some reason it didn't charge while I was away, and so I got back and the 12 volt was dead because for some reason there's still a 12 volt in a Tesla with a giant fucking battery. So that was dead, and once it dies you kind of got to get it replaced. So I'm like, okay, I'll set up for service. And then I had a tow truck come out and they jumped the 12 volt and suddenly the whole car turned on. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, so it could work. It just needed to jump the 12 volt for the rest of the car to go like, I'm awake, and then he didn't tow it that day because like, oh, it's fine. And then I tried to open my door and it didn't open. And I was like, oh shit, so they did need a problem because they were going to tow it to a service center and get it serviced right away. So I set up an appointment to service it. And the next appointment besides the day it would have been towed is 1 month from now. That was the earliest I got a service appointment. And I'm just like, how?
Who are all these people in line for cars and car fixes ahead of us? And stop it.
I don't know.
It's probably because I don't know if this is true, but it seems from my perspective to be true. Every Tesla you've owned has had some sort of serious problem. And this isn't that big of a problem.
I've owned 2. What do you mean all of them?
Did you
How
own
many
another
fleets of Teslas do you think I have?
I thought you owned 3 Teslas.
No, I've had 2 in my life.
Oh, well then your Model X has just had a lot of problems.
Oh my God, it's had so many problems. The suspension
I
is
thought those
blown.
were different cars.
No, it's the same car.
Jesus, what a shit pile.
I know. And so I was thinking like, okay, maybe I don't want the Model X. Maybe I'll trade up to a Model S. You know what the wait time is right now for a Model S?
I don't know, a lot.
3 to 6 months?
I get it in March.
That sounds about like some close to that time frame.
You were quite correct, Wade. I was just like, I didn't say you were wrong.
It's almost like I've been looking for a car since July, because I lost mine in March of this year. This year.
March of this current last year. This lead.
All right, enough of our pain. Mark, you get, I started giving you 4 points. I had a better day than Bob, but your day sounds like it also sucked. So I give myself 1 point.
What? You cannot make yourself the winner.
Well, he
I have a point.
He cannot.
He's the judge.
I can change the rules on a win.
No, but there's global rules that we all agreed on.
We have no power here.
You watch what you say, or else I'm going to make myself winner right now.
Wade is essentially the train man from the Matrix trilogy.
I will turn this episode around.
All right.
Take you back.
All right, okay.
All right, right now, Bob has 3 points. Mark has 4 points. I have 1 point. There you go.
Okay, that sounds good. I like that.
For everyone keeping track at home.
That wasn't today for Mark, and also fine. Fine.
You're having a bad day. You got to be losing right now. And technically, you're still beating me, so there you go.
Hey, he could still climb into his car from the other doors that do open.
And
I can't use my laptop that doesn't exist.
Doesn't your current laptop work? It's just getting old?
It works, except if you want to open Adobe products, which is the only thing I use.
So climb into your old laptop.
Turns on and
Jesus.
plays Stardew Valley probably, but I don't want to play that.
Well, you know what? I've got the topic that's going to turn all of our days around. It's going to be a good day. Now, we all have significant others. Not everyone out there does. And I feel like that puts us in a prime position to talk about dating advice and some of our less maybe good moments of trying to ask somebody out or go on a date. I know Bob's told us stories involving this before.
Did that ever see the light of day?
I don't know.
Wait, which one?
We recorded me telling a story about dating.
Maybe
but
it hasn't seen the light of day.
I don't know if we ended up using that.
Oh no, that has not. God, we should.
Oh.
That's such a good story.
Can we just
That
edit
is.
that story into this so that we can get the new telling of it instead of me trying to retell it? I'm going to be telling you a story about young love, about a first job, about excitement over the possibility of sitting near a girl in high school, about overcomplicated plans, that end hilariously and also quite terrifyingly in both failure and near-death experience, and the hard-to-explain series of decisions that led me and my high school best friend to almost kill a girl completely by accident. Where did this begin? My high school best friend, Dave, and I were hanging out in his basement doing the only thing that we did other than video games and work at our part-time jobs. No, not that. Which was play ping pong and lament about girls. I don't know if anyone else had this, probably not ping pong. We would literally, he had a ping pong table, but that was like what the ping pong table was for. And I don't know why. And it's a very clear and strict rule that we followed, but we're playing ping pong, talking about girls, and recently Dave had begun working at a new job at the movie theater, which is a great job. It's a lot of free movies thanks to Dave, but a lot of people go to the movie theater, and while we're playing ping pong, hanging out, he gets a text from one of his coworkers that this girl, the girl that he currently would not stop talking about, Jessica, was seeing a movie, had just walked in, gotten their tickets, and one of our creepy friends at the movie theater was like, hey, she's here, and sent him a text. And so we got this information, right?
You guys had a whole team on this.
Yeah, well, it's hard to date. Okay? You gotta have takes a lot of effort.
I'm trying to keep track of everything. There's Jessica just walked in. What is the name of this creepy friend?
Can we call him I don't know, Kyle or something?
Sure, Kyle's about right.
All right.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Kyle works at the movie theater and sweeps up the popcorn after the
you know what?
over,
that
right?
can be confirmed. Every movie theater has a Kyle, so we have decreed. So
cool.
It is so.
So it is.
Real
done.
quick though, about your ping pong table, just to relate, I didn't have a ping pong table, but I had a friend. I don't know if you guys remember, there was this channel allegedly that my friend would always turn on, and apparently it was all static, but apparently it was supposed to be a porn channel. And so my friend would turn on the staticky porn channel, and that was our cue to be like, oh, I think maybe I saw a boob. That reminds me of that was our cue to talk about girls, was the weird staticky not real porn channel.
Wait, what did that remind this person of? Wow, a nipple. I remember my first dog. Wow.
I don't know, but he would always turn this on, and we would look for 3 seconds, maybe see something. It was like the ghost videos, man. It was we'd look and be like, is that a boob or a leg? I don't know. But Cindy was looking pretty fly the other day. I don't know. It would just lead the discussion.
Cindy.
That's concerning.
I don't want to go off into this is Bob's story. It's just that was my ping pong table. Was my friend would turn on the staticky porn.
Is wholesome and a fun time for everybody. Mark and I played a lot of ping pong in college.
Yeah. I was actually just thinking about it, and now I'm starting to remember it. Between serves, Wade, Bob would get this really sad look, like he wanted to discuss girls, and
yeah, you never did.
He wouldn't say anything, so
God,
we did not talk.
My friend had a pull-out couch bed, and we would sit together on this pull-out couch bed, and he would turn on the staticky porn channel. It's really awkward thinking back on. That was weird.
That's not a good picture.
Did you
you're
pull out
painting.
the bed for that?
Yeah, we were on the bed together.
Oh.
Because that's where I would sleep. So we would hang out where I would sleep, and he'd be like, turn this on, and we'd be like, maybe there was a boob, I don't know. Maybe let's talk about stuff. We would always notoriously talk about the girls we had crushes on and things. Anyway, Bob, go back to your. I wanted to relate to your ping pong table.
Okay, so we get the text. Kyle, movie theater, creepy guy, says, not only is Jessica my friend's love interest seeing a movie, she's seeing a movie with a friend who is the girl that I myself at that point in time would not shut up about. It's perfect, right?
What's your love interest name in this?
Melissa.
Yeah, what's the name? Melissa, okay.
My best friend's love interest is at the movies with her best friend, my love interest. The love quadrangle. How do you say that word? Quadrangle. Quadrangle?
I think it's just a square.
It's parallelogram. Could be anything.
Could be. You're right.
Trapezoid.
Square is a parallelogram, but a parallelogram does not have to be a square.
Ain't that true?
You and your friend do sound like squares in this. Go ahead.
Anyway, we've got all the information now. The plan is obvious, right? Do you not see how this has to play out? Clearly, what we had to do was, step one, gather a posse, obviously.
Yep.
So we gathered the boys, if you will, our other
They are
friends.
there.
So gang hit.
Yep. We had to rush to the grocery store to pick up some flowers and chocolates. We head to the theater to stake out the car and then ambush them with love and appreciation as they exit the theater to get into their vehicle and drive back home.
Meanwhile, hey Jessica, you want to go see a movie today? Yeah, Melissa, that sounds great. I can't wait. I just want to get away, just enjoy a movie, you know, maybe go hang out afterward.
Just the two of us, just casual, no drama, they had no idea. They had no idea.
I'm imagining this went well, but again, I don't want to get ahead of
well,
myself.
you don't know which part resulted in attempted murder, so don't draw any assumptions.
Beat them with the flowers, accept my love.
This brings us to Act 2, obviously, preparation. Now it's time to take action. There's a time clock on this. We know which movie they're seeing, when it was, how long the movie is. Our posse of friends that we gathered are Stevens. One named Steven with a V, one named Steven with a PH. So there's 4 of us. We pile into my friend Dave's Honda Civic, and this next part plays out like an action movie. This is why the posse needs to be here, right? You gotta keep the car running, you gotta have logistics, you gotta have people in charge. So Dave and I are in the front seat. Stevens are in the back seat, and we're like driving, totally following the speed limit, totally being safe. We're driving to the grocery store, and the Stevens are in the back. One of them we call Steven, and one of them is Steve, which helps differentiate, but also is sort of indicative of their personality. Steve is the gossip. Steve is the one like texting updates with Kyle, like, did they leave early? No? Okay. Like keeping the subjects in sight, keeping our intel fresh. Steven is the one staring at his watch on the minute, every minute is like, 28 minutes. 28 minutes from right now. We need to be in that parking lot. That'll give us, 15 minutes to find the car, find a spot, get a good angle. And he's sitting there just staring at his watch, just waiting. So we get to the grocery store. We run into the store. We've never bought this stuff before. Neither of us realized until we got inside, we're losers, right? We haven't really dated people to this point. Never bought flowers for someone or chocolates. Never gone to the part of the store that's set up for desperate losers trying to impress a girl sort of area. Don't know where that is.
So she bought chocolates, flowers, and a 50-pack of condoms, I'm guessing.
Magnum XLs.
Standards, yes, absolutely standard.
Extra
small bag.
I wonder if anyone's ever creepily stalked or planned an ambush for me anywhere close to what you guys did for this group.
How many ambushes have you avoided narrowly?
How many people's elaborate posse murder love plans have I just barely dodged? Probably 0.
Finally, after running around the store, looking like weirdos, we're fully loaded, chocolates, flowers, extra small condoms, ready to go. The movie theater is not super far away, but we're back in the car and it's like, all right, 8 minutes to the theater. And we're about 5 minutes away. Everything's on time. Steven is happy. Steve is updating us. They're still in the movie. Everything is fine. Kyle has not seen them go to the bathroom. He is watching them like a hawk.
I don't know if I'd be honored someone liked me that much or if I'd be really weirded out or creeped out. I don't know how I'd feel.
Well, you don't need to worry about it because no one's that obsessed with you. Continue, Bob.
I can answer for you definitively, Wade. It's creepy. But anyway.
It is creepy.
We're very responsibly and safely driving to the movie theater. We get there, right? Okay, so Act 3, the payoff, the action. We're here. Yeah. This is going to sound worse than it is. Dave happens to know which car is theirs. Okay. He knows
That doesn't sound too bad.
which car his beloved Jessica drives. And,
His beloved.
Oh.
Yeah, okay,
That sounds worse than knowing what
Sorry,
car they drive.
sorry. Go ahead. His beloved Jen.
And so we're scouting, we find the car, we circle
that hurt.
around, we
That
find
was
an
my
angle
heart.
where we can park the Stevens so they can kind of see the action, Because they've been with us this far. You don't want to leave the Stevens parked off in the corner somewhere like a-holes.
Yeah, no.
You want them to be able to witness
Your greatness.
the great success that is about to happen, all this effort that we've put into coordinating this massive effort. So yeah, we get everything situated. We're sitting in the car. It's like a perfect TV show thing where it's from our car, it's sort of through one row. There's a perfect little window between the parked cars and a light. Literally, it's nighttime. It's like a weekend evening. In the dark night, their car, an orange car, by the way, has a beacon on it, at this bright focal point. But basically, we get the Stevens all set up. And then at some point, Dave and I are like, okay, well, we don't want to just be sitting here. If they come out earlier than we think or something, or maybe we have the timing off, we don't want to get out of our car and run at them. That's terrifying. Someone jumps out of a vehicle and charges you in the parking lot. That's like a kidnap or something, right? That's bad. So we're we'll casually, with our huge bouquets of flowers and oversized boxes of chocolate, get out of our car and sort of skulk, I guess is the word I would use to describe it. sort of pick a spot where they can't see us because it's a surprise, obviously. They can't see us coming out of the theater. We're hidden. Turns out that light bleeds a lot. It shows a lot of area. So I think we were like, oh, we'll pick a discreet spot. It'll be fine. Luckily, the car that the girls are driving is this big truck sort of thing, like an SUV. It's tall. It hides us pretty well. I think if a family that was going to see a Pixar movie drove past this location in the parking lot that night, they would have looked off to the side and seen me. I was as big as I am now then. A huge 6'4" big dude with his very short friend, standing in the middle of a parking lot with like some stuff, like obviously holding something, I guess flowers maybe. But like, if you drive by that, how bad does that look?
Yeah, if I drove by that, I would think there was some shenanigans afoot and we'd go to a different theater.
Looking back on this though, right? And I don't feel good about this choice specifically. Of all the choices we made, this choice to lay in wait for what was essentially, I guess, our prey, to jump out at two unsuspecting people. It's a questionable
No, this
plan.
could only lead to true love.
Yeah, well, maybe it did. Maybe one of these girls is actually Mandy.
Oh,
Look, so we're standing here. It was probably like maybe 10 minutes. Just a long time to lurk in a parking lot. But we're standing there and it feels like forever, right? It's a combination of feeling kind of uneasy about where we are, the choices we've made, how this looks, but also we're about to ask a girl on a date, which is terrifying. Like, it's for high school me, I had never really done that. It's not successfully done that. And it was like, it was a lot. And we're standing there like, you know, hearts aflutter, murder muscles really getting warmed up. So we're waiting forever.
Yeah.
And finally, peeking through the, you know, you can sort of look through the windows of a car, we're peeking around the edges, lurking, if you will. Finally, they round the corner from the front of the movie theater. I will say this is the back parking lot of the movie theater, not the front one where like everyone goes. This is like the cool back one. There's less foot traffic, less witnesses. So they're making their way to the back parking lot. You know, we sort of huddle. We're like, they're coming. Oh my God. Oh my God. And we're looking at each other, and Dave and I collectively, we have this conversation that's like, don't jump out too early. Don't give them any warning. Make sure they're nice and close so they can't run, you know? Make sure they get close enough. And we're like, yeah, that's the plan. Obviously, all of this is obvious. But finally, they get close enough. Jessica's digging for her car keys. They sort of finally arrived at the car, and we're like, yes. And we take our big step out from behind the car, presenting the flowers so proudly. And I think everyone knows what their reaction is.
oh, you shouldn't have.
Sure. Well, then maybe that came later. Their initial reaction is actual terror. Like, actually, maybe we're here to grab them and run away or something, or take their purse and punch them in the face.
Yeah.
They look terrified, which is not surprising from this perspective. Dave and I are taken aback by their terrified look, and we're like, no, wait a minute. This is a perfect plan. This isn't scary. This is charming. We're expressing how much we care about them. They should be blown away with love and entrancement. Is that a word?
Yeah, sure.
Entrapment?
Oh,
Sure.
yeah, entrapment. I think you're getting there.
Yeah. Well, so they look scared. Dave and I look at each other and realize, like, oh, you know what? Maybe there were some flaws. But we're here. We've done it. It's a surprise. Everything will be fine. But at this point, like, Melissa's kind of like scared, but realized that it's us and it's probably fine. Jessica doesn't look scared anymore, but she looks like she's having trouble. Like, she looks like she might faint or collapse. And unbeknownst to us, despite the amount of love in his heart for this person, Dave had no idea, and I had no idea. I didn't know her very well. Jessica has a serious heart condition. She's a I don't know what the medical condition is, but she has a serious health condition, and extreme surprises are bad for her and may cause her heart to stop beating. So anything that's terrifically shocking, jarring, terrifying is potentially deadly to this person. And so we didn't, and we don't know how to help. So she just sort of begins having cardiac distress and having trouble staying conscious. And she's the only one who knows at this point she needs to reach into her bag and get a bottle of medicine to take one of the pills that she has with her in case this comes up. But like, and I don't know, I imagine her friend who was with her probably had some clue since they're best friends maybe. But like, Dave and I are just standing there staring at this girl dying in front of us. Not really sure. And our, nerves and excitement about asking these girls to go on a date turned suddenly to like actual terror on our parts. We don't know what happened, but apparently we've scared a person to death.
Why would you be worried?
That wasn't, so I've been selling it. Listen, I've been setting it up like, oh, it's a joke. We're going to kill this girl or whatever. We didn't mean to kill anyone. Jesus Christ. Believe it or not, based on the plan that we had and the decisions we made to execute that plan, our ultimate goal was not to kill this person. It was to secure a date or maybe a double date.
I feel like I'm watching a fucking true crime episode.
Yeah,
like, this
God.
is like the killer explaining how they got started.
No, I see the detective piecing all the evidence together. And they lurked. No, they skulked outside by the car with flowers for their grave.
We didn't mean to kill anybody, but we found we had a real taste for it.
So this is happening. She reaches into her bag. Somebody has a bottle of water, takes medicine. After maybe a solid 5 to 7 minutes of like terror and staring and waiting by me and Dave, everyone is fine. Jessica's fine. Melissa is pretty pissed off. She's fine. And so like everyone's fine. There's 4 of us standing there in the middle of this parking lot. By the way, the Stevens must have had a hell of a show. I'm a little surprised they didn't come running out of the car, try to figure out, or like hop in the front seat and drive away. I don't know what the Stevens were doing
They
or
were coming
thinking,
up with their
but
alibi as you were out there, like, okay, they kidnapped us too.
nobody saw us at the grocery store with them. Maybe we were at home. Maybe we were in my basement.
They knew about the heart condition the whole time. They wanted this to happen.
Yeah, I don't know, but they must have had a hell of a show. So the 4 of us are standing there. So everything's fine. Everyone's alive. At this point, Dave and I are like, okay, everyone's good. Let's do what we came here for.
The mood is set.
Everything has gone according to the plan. It's time to ask these girls on a date. I will say, I will release a little more context at this point. My friend Dave and his interest, Jessica, have some history at this point. They have not dated, but I think she is aware that he likes her, and he thinks that maybe she likes him back. Between me and Melissa, it's a much more unspoken amount of interest. Utterly unspoken.
How much
you could
unspoken?
say.
How many words?
Know her and have seen her at like parties or at in band practice. I've seen her interact with other people. I may have talked to her directly once prior to this interaction. So mine was a real shot in the dark. Mine was like, you seem cool, you seem awesome, I like you, maybe you like me. But Dave's is like a real, I think this has a shot. I'm gonna ask this girl out, finally. So everyone's alive, everyone calms down a little bit. Dave looks into Jessica's eyes and is like, hey, we've been hanging out a lot. I think you're really cool. We have a really good time together. I know this didn't go. I was hoping this would be more surprising and romantic and not death-defying and terrifying. But like, look, I wanted to ask you on a date. You got flowers and chocolates. Have those. That's just a gift. I just wanted to ask you if maybe we could go out to dinner. Like, really nice. David is a sweet guy. He asked her out. Super nice. And she takes the flowers and sort of looks down, and very thoughtfully, she's like, you know what? I do have fun with you, but I think we're just friends. Like the classic letdown. And it's a big bummer. But that was always an option, and she was super nice about it. And so that all plays out, and now it's my turn. And so this has all happened, and I look directly at Melissa, and I'm like, I hold out the flowers and the chocolate silently, and I look at her, and I'm like, you date? And she doesn't take the flowers or the chocolate. She doesn't say anything. She locks eye contact with me, slowly shakes her head no, and then just proceeds to get her friend into the car so they can leave.
Okay, all right, great.
So not equivalent responses, but not equivalent, pretext between the two interactions. I don't think Melissa's treatment of me was particularly unfair. Could have been nicer.
Yeah, given the situation, I think she was definitely overreacting to everything.
Yeah,
that
I
went
don't
down.
blame her for, maybe being a little taken back and angry at me directly about what had happened just then. But
it's not like she was the one who was dying on the ground.
She was fine.
Yeah, she was
fine the whole time.
And the one who was dying sent the other person into the friend zone. You're not even in the friend zone, which is better?
Yeah.
Good?
It's
good.
Means I can circle back.
Yeah.
Give another shot.
Yeah.
It's not too late.
We can plan it out.
Anyway, 2 shots fired, no dates acquired.
Okay.
Chocolate.
But does that qualify as attempted murder? Who could say?
This episode of Distractable is sponsored by Grubhub. Recently, we had a passing in the family. Not gonna lie, everyone was kind of beat up, distracted, not really thinking about everything that they needed to get done during the day. And one of those things that kind of got overlooked is food. And thanks to Grubhub's existence, we got food to the house and made sure everyone got something to eat. And honestly, very thankful for that.
Listen, Grubhub loves restaurants. They have a passion and a determination to serve the restaurants and make sure that those dedicated chefs, waiters, bus boys, seating people that stand at the front, that they all look good in the eyes of you or people like Wade and his family, or because Grubhub will be damned if the food doesn't come fast, fresh, and exactly the way it was prepared.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that the seating people might not come into play when it comes to delivery.
No, it's all part of it. They greet the driver.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
100% right.
Food absorbs emotion, and when you eat food and it makes you feel a way, it's because everyone who was involved with the preparation of that food emanated those positive and or negative vibes in the food. You're like, yeah, I'll bring that.
You can order through the Grubhub app or online and have food delivered directly to your door. Grubhub guarantees your food will get to you on time within the delivery window for the lowest price compared to other apps, or you'll get back at least $5 in perks. That way you can experience your food just like the restaurant intended. Grubhub, we serve restaurants.
This episode of Distractable is brought to you by Bombas. Lots of things can make your workouts hard. Extra resistance, double speed, 1 more mile, the ability to wake up and actually go do it in the first place. But your socks shouldn't, though. Make your workouts harder, that is.
Or wake you up in the first place.
Yeah, your socks should not wake you up in the morning. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Before I had Bombas socks, middle of the night, my sock would be crawling up by my pillow, pawing at my face,
Whining.
begging to go outside. No, Bombas don't do that. Bombas behave themselves.
It's like the alternative to Bombas' socks made by the same company from the movie Small Soldiers, where they put like a military chip in your sock and it just tries up and strangles you in the middle of the night. Bombas won't do that. They've got technology, but it's special Hex Tech performance technology with special moisture wicking yarn and temperature regulating vents that allow cool air to flow in and prevent overheating. Bombas comes in different styles for every sport with specific design features to help you optimize performance and keep you comfortable no matter what you're doing, especially if you're just lazing around the house like me. For every pair of Bombas performance socks you buy, they donate a pair to someone in need. Bombas has donated over 45 million pairs so far, so if you buy a Bombas sock, you can do the world some good. Go to bombas.com/distractable today and get 20% off your first order. That's bombas.com/distractable for 20% off. That's bombas.com/distractable.
Anyway, dating. It's a scary thing putting yourself out there and, risking rejection and all that jazz. But the 3 of us have conquered that mountain.
Yeah. Yep.
And I know we have our own failures in that department that we can share from, pull from, and we have our own successes. So wherever you guys want to go with it, that is our topic.
Just dating?
Just dating.
Oh, man.
So I told that one story. I've dated 2 people in my life, and one of them I'm currently married to. I don't exactly have like a dearth of dating stories.
Well, no, but at some point you had to get up the courage to talk to somebody, or they had to get up the courage to talk to you, or you had an arranged marriage, or you had arranged dating.
I kind of got, this is not dating, but it's relationship. I got a relationship story.
There we go.
It's kind of funny, but it gives me mixed feelings because I guess I'll tell the story and you can judge that. But remember when we used to give stories titles?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's the title of your story, Bob?
This story is entitled, oh, wow, really?
Oh, wow, really? Mark, what's the title of your thing you will say?
Yeah, you're ready, right, Mark?
Yeah, I'm ready. Hang on.
Waiting with bated breath. That's the whole story. It would literally just be like something that went right or wrong or whatever. What are you gonna say?
No.
You think on that, Bob. I guess you get to go now.
All right. So yeah, just in context to this. So I'm married to my wife.
That's good.
Like you are. And before we got married, I had to ask her if she wanted to do that. But before the proposal, I was like, I want to do this right. I'm nervous about this, and I want to make sure everyone is on board and happy. My parents were cool. I think they were probably a little surprised I had convinced someone to maybe marry me. I don't know. I probably told them, and they were like, I think she's going to say yes. Maybe just leave things the way they are. Don't mess with it, you know? It's like it's going all right. But yeah, I was like, I'm going to ask. I'm going to talk to Mandy's dad and just like talk to him and let him know and, you know, ask for his blessing, right? Like both of our families are pretty modern, and that's not really like, he wouldn't have been offended, I don't think, if we just showed up and was like, we're engaged. He would have been like, wow, awesome, cool. But I just wanted to, I don't know, felt like I wanted to do the steps that I had always heard people talk about to do it right and be all chivalrous. And so, yeah, we were hanging out. I think it was Christmas. I think it was Christmas Day, and we were hanging out with Mandy's family, spending Christmas, spending the holiday. And I remember the scene. He was like asleep on the couch in the front room, right? It had been a full day, and we had a nice holiday dinner, and everyone was sort of chilling out. And he was like laying on the couch in the front room asleep. And I was like, this is my time. He's separate. I've been waiting. You know, I didn't have a specific idea of like, how am I going to get him alone? Because I don't want to talk about this in front of Mandy and everyone. And he was on his own in the front room, and I was like, can we go out there? Just initiate a
Can't run from me.
Just have a talk, and I did, and I woke him up. And Mandy's dad is very approachable and very good. Like, he's just a good person to talk to. He's always got insightful things to contribute. No matter what the conversation, he probably knows something about it. He's like one of those people where he's always down to talk, and he's always interesting to talk to. So it's really easy to start this conversation. And I sort of steered it down the path of, you know, I love your daughter. At that point, we'd been together for 3 years, and I was like, it's been a while. It's going well. We've moved in together over this last year. It's going really well. And I built this up, you know, really selling him hard on it. And I got to the moment, and I was like, and, you know, I just wanted to ask, I guess, how you feel if I told you I want to ask Mandy to marry me. And I felt like I'd painted this picture, right? And I was, at this point, I knew her family pretty well. We had spent holidays together because we lived in the same city, so we could just drive over on the weekend and hang out and do whatever. It was fun. We knew each other, and I had been around for a few years, so it had been a while. And I looked him right in the face, and I said that, and I just remember, like, I expected him to either be like, yes, awesome, or to be like, you know what, let me talk to you. And maybe he had a concern, or maybe he was just going to tell me to be a good husband or whatever, give me some kind of, you know, speech. I didn't know. I knew them well enough to feel like I think he's going to be happy about this because they know me and it's cool. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
He looked right in my face very calmly after this nice conversation we had, and he was like, oh, really? Yeah. And it wasn't like that was not a response I had contemplated. I didn't know what to make of it. We continued talking, obviously. He didn't do that and then like walk away. But he said that, and I was like, oh yeah, is that wrong? Is that bad? Did I do this wrong? And I guess where he was coming from is he hadn't even really thought about it. He had no concerns. He was totally happy. Ultimately, he was like, you seem good. We know you. You're like, that does not concern me in the least. But he hadn't considered that we might be getting married. I don't know why. I guess he just wasn't imagining his daughter getting married. She was still, I mean, she's still his baby girl, right? You never really grow out of that with your parents. But for like 10 seconds when he reacted like that, my whole brain was just like, oh, I guess this is over. I should probably pack my stuff up and get out of here. Like, that's not a good response. But yeah, he was somehow totally shocked by that. No idea why. But it worked out great, and I'm still married, and you should just do that, kids. My dating advice would be do what I did. All that stuff I said.
I have a title. I have one.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a title.
Bob, 5 more points, Bob.
I have a title. The title of my dating story is Left or Right.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it. Do I get to go? Do I
like
get to
it.
tell my story?
I guess so. Yeah, that's the way this works.
I would like to know which one it is. Go for it.
All right, so the reason it's called Left or Right is because when I was in high school, I was absolutely terrible at dating. And not even dating as in like dating around, at literally the act of taking a human being on a date. I was terrible at that because I didn't understand what the concept was or like what you do or anything. It's not like I wasn't aware of the concept of dating, but I could not wrap my head around the idea of taking another human being to a place to hang out with them. So what I would do, and this is probably the reason why my high school girlfriend just eventually got really tired of me, is just because I would just go on drives. And the way we do this, and Wade, you know what this is in reference to, when you're coming out of Milford and you're about to get on 275, you can either take the right and go that way on 275, or you can go left and go that way on 275.
They've changed it since, but
yeah,
yes,
now
that
it's
did used
both
to be that
rights,
way.
but back then it was like a right and a left.
Back then, yeah, left to go south and right to go north. Yeah.
Legitimately, the way that I would I'd be like, hey.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you. What the hell? I have to close Discord. 1 second. Why is all the audio broken? Everything's broken. Ah! It all broke on me, Sean. I'm streaming Fallout New Vegas. Ugh. I don't know why it's broke. Um, um, Everything broke. Oh, okay.
Can't run from me. Had enough.
Come on.
I gotta close Discord, Sean. Just join the chat if you can. Discord is lagging my game. I can't tell if you can hear me or not. Alright. Yeah, the audio for some reason is not picking up your voice when I have everything else open and stuff, so I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Let me see here. Maybe I can fix that. Probably not though. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Desktop, microphone, camera. Okay, yep. Oh, I don't think I did. Boy. Audio capture. Audio output capture. Maybe, yeah, audio output capture. Source. Discord. That's it. That your phone. I'll have to figure that out. I think this is it though. Monitoring off, sync offset. Okay.
Hello. Hello, my friend. Maybe now? But I can't hear you.
How's it working?
Is it working?
Up audio device too. Maybe now? Oh, wait a minute. I see. I think I know what I'm doing wrong.
Bada boom, bada bing.
Let me go to output. Video. Audio. Um. This one needs to be that. This one. Let's do default. Or this.
All right. Bought la caca. Classy. Everything, my friend. You fucked up everything.
Is it working now? Yo, output. Nope.
Hello, Wolfie. The weed of the samurai. Nope. Nope.
This stuff audio. No, I don't think this is how that works either. Nope. Okay.
What's up, everyone? My name's Saucy, and I'm here to... So what we're gonna do, we're gonna right So once you've opened your sound settings, it should look a little bit like your headset. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna select the game because that's it.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yell into the void. Why do I have to yell into the void? The void doesn't want me to yell back. Don't yell into the void. The void is not the key. The void is not the key to mess with the void. The void is all. The void takes over everything in life. The void is the void. The key is the void. The key is not the void. The void is the key. The key is not the void. The void is the key.
It indicates that it's for my game. So once I have that said, then I want to come over here to my microphone. So with my microphone, I'm going to have it set for the same as my headset. So I'm going to go to my SteelSeries 7, but it indicates that it's for my chat. So I just select chat, and we're good to go. After we set up our sound settings, we're going to go down into our Discord. So just drop down into here, and you want to make sure that your input and your output are the exact same again. And so I'll just turn this to my SteelSeries 7s. And it is the same input and it's the same as my output. So go down to your bottom left side of your screen into your, I just showed you for the sound settings for your computer. Alright guys, so then on our third step, what you want to do is you just want to open up your Streamlabs OBS. And then once you open up your Streamlabs, you just want to go down to your bottom left side of your screen into your settings. I'm going to drop down into your audio. And then you just basically want to do the exact same method that we have just done for the last two steps. So, you just want to set your game headphones for your main output. So, for your desktop audio device 1, you just want to have it set for your main headphones for your game. So, mine indicates for the game, so I'm just going to set it the exact same way I set up Discord and my sound settings on my computer. Then you want to drop down into mic/auxiliary device 1, set your microphone that you will be using for your stream. If
Be my default. Something like that? Hold on. Okay, so micro headphones. It's speakers. God, like that. Can't tell if it's working or not. What the fuck? Oh, okay. No, that's not working. Cause this one here. Ah, I could hear you. There we go. Fixed it. How? I don't know.
Scream into the void and it fixes it.
There, no. Set that one to default.
The void fixes it. Yell into it hard enough.
Right. Microphone HyperX Cloudflight S, and that one should be fine. Is my audio still good? Now, that's the real
Yep.
question.
Yep, it is.
In my stream?
Oh, I haven't checked the stream, so I do not know that.
I have to figure out if that's working properly. Yeah, audio's working, but I gotta see if I can fix it because it sounds terrible. Microphone. Wait. What if I make this one my default? And then I take this one.
The void is not the key. The key is the void.
How's that sound? Set. Alright, I got it fixed. There we go. Now, let me go and close all my tabs that I opened.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, Sean.
How's it been?
Oh, not bad, not bad. Let me mute myself. Let me shut my audio off for a minute. I want to actually make sure. Can you actually join my stream and check if the audio sounds decent, please? Could you be a pal? I don't want to keep sitting here and
Yeah.
check. Appreciate it.
Like, I'd be like, hey, your name, we want to go hang out? And like, yeah, and I'd pick them up and we get in my car and we'd drive out that way and be like, all right, we'll go right or left. You go left or right off of down 275. And it's not like I was going anywhere. I didn't have any place to be. I had no plans, no nothing. It wasn't going to a restaurant. The concept of going to a restaurant didn't even occur to me. It was like, I just want to drive
Audio
and hang out,
sounds
because like
decent.
I just got my license, you know, or I had it for like a year, and I'm like, yeah, freedom of driving. For me, driving was like the best thing. So I literally asked them, just like, hey, you want to go left or right? And after the first few times, you know, she humored me. I was like, left or right, it's fun, right? And then literally we just drive around the 275 loop and talk. And just that was my experience with dating. I did not take someone out to a restaurant to eat until I started dating in college.
But it does sound
I
decent.
legitimately was incapable of doing anything.
You just drove the loop?
Yes.
That's a bold move.
You want to go out? Yeah. All right, we're staying out. We'll
Yeah,
never
you sound
do it
okay.
again.
Okay.
exactly.
No, I meant the
'Cause
game audio.
concept of, like,
Does it
hanging
sound
out, it's
decent?
like, oh yeah, we go over to your parents' house or my parents' house. We just hang out there. But if it was going out, I just couldn't.
Doesn't
fucking
sound
do it.
bad,
Left
does
to
it?
right. Like I
Okay.
had some
No.
money. I could have taken them out to a restaurant.
I'm also
but I just
listening to a
was
live stream. I don't know if
physically
you can
incapable,
hear
so it always
that.
just came up with a conversation. It's like, yeah, left or right. Yeah, left. Today's a left kind of day. All right.
You should have just, you got there, whatever choice they did, you just be like,
Yeah.
good, that's the right choice.
Yes, exactly according to my plans.
That's interesting. I don't feel like that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
That was like your only move maybe was a little limiting, but like I did not do that in the dating context, but I did that with buddies. We would absolutely, once one of us had a car and could drive, we would absolutely be like, yo dude, it's Friday night, like what are we gonna do? Like, I don't know, I don't really want to. Oh, you just want to go like drive around? Like we would always head down to OSU campus, I guess. And we didn't ever do anything or get into anything. I'm sure we could have gotten into a party or whatever, tried to like get into trouble. We just like drove around and like looked at stuff and, you know, hung out and drove around, and it was the freedom. Totally get that. I feel like that's the thing a lot of people would identify with.
Yeah.
My friend kidnapped me and drove me around the loop. I think I've told that story, haven't I?
Oh yeah, you did.
So that was fun. Driving can be. You know, actually, Molly and I like going on drives. Sometimes we'll just go out and just drive around for a bit. Not necessarily like a super long one, but.
Why do you think it didn't occur to you to like take one of your dates to a restaurant or something? Were you like morally opposed to it, or were you literally just like unaware of that was the thing you should do?
I don't know. It never even occurred as a possibility.
That's not funny.
Have you never seen a movie where people go on a date?
No. No, I cannot explain this. I was very socially inept in a lot of ways. Like, it's fine when I was hanging out with friends and stuff, but when it came down to dating, like, I didn't understand what you were supposed to do. Like, it was just like, oh, girl, oh, I like hanging out with you, you're cute, and I like looking at you, but it's just like, other than that, I had no capability. Zero. Absolutely none.
I hope that's what the conversation was like when you were driving around. Hey, girl, I like looking at you. You're cute.
I like looking at you. You're pretty.
Just for hours stuck on the highway.
High school Mark hanging out with his friends, like, that's cool, that's really cool. And a girl walks up and he's like, hey, you're a girl. You ain't gonna drive around in my car. I wanna hang out with you. Like, all the guys are like, Mark, are you okay? Yeah, no, I always talk like this.
I know these guys are great now, but I'll take you left or right. We can go either direction.
Be cool, guys.
Yeah, no, legitimately. I wish that I could say like I had any kind of ineptitude, but or aptitude, and not ineptitude. I was apt.
You don't wish you had ineptitude?
I don't.
He wishes he was apt.
I wish I was apt.
Huh.
I had aptitude.
That's very magnanimous of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. How many points do I get for my story?
Oh man. Let's see. I gave Bob 5.
Let me guess. Mark, it's more arbitrarily.
I'll give you 2, Mark.
Oh.
1 for left, 1 for right.
That's fair.
Oh man.
You know what? During that, Mark, your talks about young dating and asking girls out and stuff, I actually thought of some good, positive, constructive dating advice that I have to offer our gentle listeners.
All right.
Okay, I can't wait.
So I was in marching band the last 2 years of high school, and for freshman and sophomore year, I was a football player, and I basically had like no friends in that time. I hated the guys on the football team. I was part of the team, so they didn't like beat me up or anything. They were assholes, right? They were not good friends. I didn't like them. They clearly didn't like me. So I was kind of a loner. And then when I stopped playing football, I hurt my shoulder and decided to stop playing football and switch to band.
Whoops.
Some of the people in band, it was kind of cliquey, but like I had an actual friend group in band. I had a group of guys and girls who were all just cool. We would hang out, and it was weird. And I didn't know one thing had never learned about school growing up, at least in America and where I grew up. School dances, right? I had never really been into that much. I'd kind of done school dances, but like, I don't know. But once I was in this friend group in band, the whole group would always get geared up, right? You make a plan. You get a big reservation at some restaurant or something where you can all go together. And it's like a whole phenomenon of like go to dance. It's all a big thing. And you can go stag, you can go without a date. But most of my friends were always dating someone. And so I always also wanted to go with a date. And a lot of the time, I'm a timid person.
That took the roughness out of it.
I can have a conversation, and I'm much more outgoing now than I used to be when I was a kid. Never talked to anybody unless I had to. But so asking a girl out, even just to a dance,
I've just
which
been
is sort
discovering
of lower pressure than
places
like a date
for the
which
most
is
part.
because a dance is kind of like a social gathering where there's lots of people. You know what's gonna happen. It still was something. It was really intimidating and was scary. But I decided my senior year, I'd warmed up a little bit, and I think it was senior year. I don't know. One of the years, I was like, I'm gonna ask this girl who I think is kind of cute, and I don't really know that well, but I would like to go to the dance with her. I would like to take her to dinner and go to the dance. And I was like, I have the perfect plan. The band directors like me because I'm a good musician, and then I'm pretty responsible.
Get closer.
Making something
and I was like, I will ask
there you go.
him if
Making
at the end of a band
some
practice
food,
after school
getting
one day,
food.
I can stand up on the podium in front of the entire band before they're dismissed. And in this beautiful romantic gesture, I will ask this girl, who I have no barometer on if she likes me or would be at all interested in doing this, if she wants to go to the dance with me. It will be this grand gesture. It is terrifying. Like, even right up to the moment I did it, I was like, every time I think about doing this, it makes me want to.
Still don't really know how I got it to work, but I'll take it.
I want to do the thing that people do in like TV shows and stuff. And I did. I got up there and I was like, I gave a little speech and I was like, the dance is coming up and I just have one question. Will you go to the dance with me? You know, and everyone's kind of like, whoa, woo, woo, kid stuff. And she said yes. And I was like, wow, awesome. Thank God. You could have said no. That would have been crushing for me. That would have been so embarrassing. And we went to the dance and we went to dinner at a restaurant and she did not sit next to me. She sat next to another boy who she was apparently very interested in and who was apparently, I think, maybe planning on asking her, or they were going to be dating or something like that. Like they were like practically dating. And I just inserted myself. It turns out she couldn't say no because I asked her in front of 250 other people. I had thought this was such a clever romantic plan. I was like, it'll be great. She'll be like, whoa, wow, that's awesome. I'll just hang out with this dude.
Nice.
No, I pressured this girl into agreeing to something that she had no interest in doing, which is fine. She doesn't have to like me and want to go out with me. But then I still think it was a little hurtful and rude that she essentially ditched me. She ditched me before we hung out at all. I like picked her up, we went to the restaurant, didn't really talk to me at the restaurant, and then I never saw her again in the rest of my life.
Was she like moved? Like she just, I have to leave, I have to
I don't know. I know she still exists.
She grew a mustache, changed her name.
We were Facebook friends. I know she didn't like die tragically or something. She disappeared at the dance, and I don't know what happened. But my advice would be, don't fucking do that, idiots.
That's good. Like, you don't really think about that though. Whenever you're like asking somebody else, you don't think about like their perspective on it. You're like, oh man, I want to do that. Like you said, your mind, it was, this will be this awesome romantic gestures. It'll be awesome. It's gonna be really tough for me to do this, but like, you know, maybe she'll say yes, maybe she'll say no. Who knows?
Give me a fire hose nozzle.
Like you don't think about the pressure that puts on somebody.
That.
Like I guess
Hell
unless
yeah.
you lived it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with romantic gestures either. If you want to do something ridiculous and, you know, very grand, and that's fine. But pay attention to the
Pass.
Because if I had done that
Death
in
Claw,
front of her
Death
house,
Claw
or,
Sanctuary.
I don't know, somewhere where it's basically just the two of us, or maybe us and a couple of her friends or something, and it's
Where are you
not in
guys
front of
running
all
off
of
to?
the people that both of us are friends with in the entire school.
Let's go
Because it's
kill
all of
us
the
some
marching
Death
band, and
Claws.
that makes, that's like our entire friends group. She felt so bad because she just wanted to be like, oh no thanks, that's very sweet, but that she couldn't crush my entire soul in front of several hundred people. So just think about the context, guys. It's okay to be romantic, and you'll probably have some. If you do that, you probably still get some no's, and that's very sad. But that's okay. It's cute. It's adorable. It's a thing that kids do, right?
But I feel like romance is intended between people that kind of know each other already. I feel like it's one of those things where you really gotta know what the answer is gonna be. And I know that there's no guarantees in life or anything like that, but I mean, I mean, obviously, definitely don't do these big sweeping romantic gestures in front of everybody. But I feel like it applies double for people that you aren't sure are going to say yes. You know what I mean?
I mean, well, but so if you're basically like a stranger to this person, like you have a crush and they don't really know anything about you because you've never interacted, yeah, that's kind of awkward. But like, I knew this person. I was in marching band. She was also in marching band. We had been around each other. Our friends groups kind of overlap. So I didn't know if she would say yes or no for sure, but I had talked to her. I thought, oh, she's fun, and we have a good time talking. My impression was she didn't leave me mid-conversation, so she must have at least kind of enjoyed talking to me those few times. But like, I didn't know she was gonna say yes or anything. I feel like it's fair if you do it in the right context to just be like, hey, I think you're awesome. We kind of know each other. Do you want to go out? But the other thing with that for kids is, as an adult, not that I've dated as an adult, but like, I feel like if you approach someone and you're like, hey, it's me. You kind of know me. I kind of know you. You want to like get coffee. The context of that is like, do you want to get to know each other more? You don't necessarily dive right into, do you want to go to the most romantic restaurant in the city and then get a hotel downtown afterwards and see what happens? Like, there's levels to it. And if you're going for coffee, you don't have to know if they like you or not. You're inviting them to be like, hey, do you want to talk to me? And I want to talk to you. Like, maybe we'll like each other. But in high school, there's not really such a thing as that. Like, you're dating or you're not dating. And I feel like no matter what you're doing, if you're dating, it's got all this stigma to it. I don't know. It means something. It means you're kissing.
It means you're kissing. I don't know. The whole concept of dating just seems so, like, I haven't dated in a while, but even like when I did, the whole concept of dating just like
this is
irks
supposed to
me.
be Death Claw
I
Sanctuary.
don't like it. I don't feel
much.
comfortable with it. It's like, hello, person that I'm
I
trying
haven't
to get
seen
to know.
one Death Claw yet.
I swear I'm not just
It's
trying to
kinda
have sex
concerning.
with you. I swear. I don't know. Like,
That's a good lead off.
but kind of like in the same vein, like, I'm not good at making friends either. And I think it's kind of like a spiritual successor of.
Oh, it's the same idea.
Yeah, it's the same concept.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go
You're
up to.
essentially trying to make a really good friend.
Yeah, how do you go up to a human and be like, hey, you seem cool, I think. Let's go. There's no Tinder for friends, right? And it's like,
Friender. Let's make
the only
it.
reason that Bob, you and I are friends is because we were assigned to be roommates and we just so happen to get along. That's random. And it's just like you're forced to associate, so it's like you might as well get to know this person that you're in a room with for a long time. But how do you make I don't even know. This is why people like become an adult and they run out of friends because they move away, and high school is just a situation where you're forced to interact with people, and yet there are no situations where you're forced to interact with people. Like, I'm trying to learn Korean, so I want to meet Korean friends. How the fuck do I do that? How do I do it?
I've got an idea. Let's start an app. We'll call it Friender. Or, you know how there's preschool? What if we have post-school for people just to go and have apple juice and, relearn the alphabet or something?
Man,
and make some more
you're
friends.
describing like a nursing home.
Well, a nursing home, but you don't have to be knocking on death's door to go.
There does kind of need to be a thing. But when I was in college too, I didn't make friends in college besides Bob, really. And it's just
really
because
either.
like it's not the same. You're in the same place with these other people, but you're not forced to interact. You don't have a locker next to someone. You're just like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
There's no group activities in college. I hated all the people I was in group activities with or like assigned to do group work with.
No, dude, you know what? I will say I made friends in college. As far as I'm remembering, except for like you, Mark, all the friends I made in college were people who were in music school, because the music school was like a high school for people who were too old to go to high school. It was like this, I don't know if you remember or what your experience was, but I went to the University of Cincinnati. They have the College Conservatory of Music. It's a very good music school in general.
Yeah, it is.
But it's like a little high school. It's very like cliquey and I don't know, weird. Like there's some very.
I'm gonna go out that door, and there's gonna be a death claw staring me in the face. I bet
we were
you
essentially
not.
forced to interact, like you were saying. I didn't like another person that I met in any of my regular classes
I was wrong.
at college
Like
or
you-
anything else that I did. As far as I'm remembering, I did group projects with people. I was in a
Hold on,
degree
I gotta
program
hear
once I
this.
switched out of music that was not that big. I think there were 20 of us that graduated my year with my degree. We all kind of knew each other. Didn't care for any of them.
Yeah.
Didn't like those people.
Oh my god.
Didn't stay friends for 5 minutes
Cool.
once I was done doing whatever I did to graduate.
Yeah. God, you know what the tragedy is? All the people that I liked in my program dropped out. And I'm guessing, like me included, I ended up dropping out. But I was gonna finish. But everyone else, like, I didn't really like. I don't get it. No.
I don't know. I think that's possibly $1 million app idea right there.
Yeah, definitely.
The grinder, no, not grinder, Tinder,
Friender.
but for friendship.
I mean,
it could
Friender.
be grinder for friendship. But that seems like a non-important specificity that it's for gay friendship. but-
Is it one of those things where no matter what, those apps are going to be used for fuck? Because it's going to boil down to that, right?
Probably definitely.
It boils down to it because there's no way that you could be like, I want to make a friend. Do you specify gender? Is it like anything like that? Do you get like who do you meet up with? Like creeps are gonna find people and be like, hey, I want to be friends with you. You know, it's like always a risk when you're going out to meet humans because humans are sometimes terrible. Ugh.
Do creeps always only have deep voices?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not me though. Not me though. It's like a square's a rectangle, but a rectangle's not a square. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're.
Hello, everybody.
This episode of Distractable is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Sometimes you just need to talk. It doesn't have to be about a big thing. It doesn't have to be like a world-ending problem. It's just something that's on your mind that you can't get out of your head, and you just need to talk to a professional about it.
BetterHelp is here to help you with that. They can assess your needs and match you with your very own
Did you
licensed
guys run
professional
off too?
therapist. And you can start communicating with that therapist in under 48 hours. This is not a crisis line. If you are having some sort of serious, imminent crisis, something's happening right now, this is not that. This is a way to get in touch with professional counseling done online in a secure and private way. And when you're working with a BetterHelp therapist, you can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor, and you can expect timely and thoughtful responses.
And affordable.
You can visit betterhelp.com/distractable. That's
Or just
BetterHelp.com/distractable and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional.
I've
So many
been up
people have done this,
for
in fact, that BetterHelp is currently recruiting additional
way too
counselors
long.
in all 50 states.
Unha-
They've given us a
unhealthy
special
amount of
offer
time.
For our Distractable listeners. You can get
Wait a
10% off
minute.
your first month at betterhelp.com/distractable. This episode of Distractable is sponsored by Sonos. Do you like
alright.
streaming music? Do you like listening to podcasts?
Silence it right now.
Well, Sonos has got everything you need to get all the sound you can.
540
The new
shit.
Sonos Move is a premium portable speaker for listening all around your home, outdoors, on the trail. What kind of sounds you guys like?
I like frogs. Like when we were filming Space, we would drive out there because it was a 30-minute drive out to the studio that we were filming at, and we would listen to frog sounds on the way. And I'm like, if I could get frog sounds in every room in my house with the new Sonos Move, I feel like my joy would increase dramatically.
Whenever you're like putting something together,
Good evening, gentle listener, and welcome to Distractable, a Wood Elf production with your hosts, Maddening Mark, Wise Wade, and Baleful Bob. This week, the genial gents gloriously gas about calamitous corkscrews and faulty fail.
Whoops.
Says, yes, it's time for Dangerous Coasters.
There we
Please
go.
prepare thy harness and enjoy the show.
Sorry. I'm
Hello,
just
everybody. My
changing
name-
podcast.
I was just doing my own intro. God, I'm
no,
such
that's
a
fine.
fucking
Well,
idiot.
go ahead. You can do a let's play.
Man, I defaulted. That is so strange. That's not a joke. I literally just defaulted to my own intro.
Nope, nope.
Man.
Nope.
Hi, and
Not
welcome
ready
to
for this.
Distractable,
I don't got
the Wood Elf production.
power
This
armor.
is a podcast where we bring interesting stories to the table from our own personal lives
Yeah,
and the
that's
world around
that
us.
cavern.
I am the
Why
judge,
is
and
there
I'll be
no
judging
death
Bob and
claws
Wade's
outside?
stories that they bring to the table.
Usually there's
Hi,
a
Bob.
bunch
Hi, Wade.
outside.
Hello.
Hey.
And this week's episode is going to be a little bit of an interesting one.
Oh.
Not that all of our episodes aren't interesting.
Oh,
That's
most of
the
them suck ass.
death claw.
Hey,
Well, you know what I'm talking about, listeners.
hey, come on.
Yeah, you know.
I'm not trying to
Made
die yet.
Podcast here. It's our baby.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, I
besides
could probably
us sucking
manage,
ass or
but
not,
I'd
I wanted
rather
to bring
not
something to you
at
guys'
this
attention.
time
Have you ever
being.
heard of the euthanasia coaster?
Sorry, I choked on my own ears. What?
That's a no for me, boss.
Have you ever heard of the euthanasia coaster?
No, I don't think so.
All right, okay, interesting.
If you start Googling euthanasia, that's like the 7th search result, so...
I put a picture in the Discord. This is the hypothetical design of the euthanasia coaster.
Is this a coaster intended to kill its riders?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Okay, so the euthanasia coaster is a hypothetical steel roller coaster designed to kill its passengers. It was designed in 2010 and made into a scale model in Lithuania
This is a nice
by
stalking
Lithuanian
game.
artist Julie Jonas Urbonas, a PhD candidate at the Royal College Art of London.
What a name.
I know, right? Urbonas, who has worked at an amusement
This
park,
should be a
stated that
nice
the goal of
stalker.
his concept coaster is to take lives with elegance and euphoria. As for practical applications of his design, Urbonas mentioned euthanasia or execution. John Allen, who served as president of the Philadelphia Toboggan Company, inspired Urbonas with his description of the ultimate roller coaster as one that sends out 24 people and they all come back dead.
Well, so describe this image to all of you guys if you're not looking it up or can't right now. There's a hill that goes pretty much straight up, not exactly, but pretty much straight up, comes to a nice like pinky finger point, and then drops pretty much straight down into, I think it's 7 loops.
7 loops.
7 loops.
Each one getting smaller than the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, decreasing size. I assume so that you either maintain speed or accelerate.
Yeah.
Because as the loops progress, you maintain your velocity by shrinking the diameter of the loop because of physics.
Yeah, exactly.
I imagine the loops are supposed to eventually kill you, but I think it's all a lie. I think that part's all fine.
No.
What ends up happening is after all the loops, the track just ends. I think you drop and fall to your death at that point.
That's how.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from
shit,
Julie
I'd write
Jonas
it.
Urbonas. Dr. Julie Jonas Urbonas, I presume, at this point in time.
Probably, yeah.
I'm pretty sure this coaster was already designed by every 9-year-old who's ever played Roller Coaster Tycoon. It may not have the exact same number of loops and elegance that Dr. Urbonas was going for. I'm like 90% sure I made the euthanasia coaster.
Can't run from
And
me.
I called it, you know, like the Death Express.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, what you would do is you would ramp it, and you'd have your passengers ramp off and go into like the neighboring park or out of your park, and that way if they were unhappy, they would just explode over there.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just ejected.
Yeah.
Solve 2 problems.
Or you pick them up off the roller coaster and you drown them in the lake.
Oh. The preferred method of getting rid of unruly passengers, yes.
That's how you get your ratings up. How do you think we get our community ratings up?
I know, right? Yeah. So the thing about this design is it has a 500-meter drop. So it's 1,600 feet of pure drop. And the point of that is to get you to near terminal velocity at 220 miles per hour. So the actual drop doesn't kill you. I bet the drop would be hellaciously fun. It's the inversions that kill you because it kills you by prolonged cerebral hypoxia or insufficient supply of oxygen to the brain. The ride's 7 inversions would inflict 10 G's of force on its passengers for 60 seconds straight, causing G-force related symptoms starting with gray out through tunnel vision to blackout and eventually G-lock, which is G-force induced loss of consciousness. Subsequent inversions or another run of the coaster would serve as an insurance agent against unintentional survival of more robust passengers.
The coaster gets back to the station and 2 of the 24 passengers are alive and they're like, oh my god, we're back. We made it back. And the guy's like, going again. Some of them survived. Doesn't even stop in the station. Just right back to click, 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 click.
How many meters high was this?
500 is the drop.
500-meter drop, which is 1,600 feet.
Okay. In comparison, at Kings Island, the tallest coaster I could think of there is Diamondback, and I think its biggest
Combat
hill
helmet
is 70 meters.
reinforced!
That's a lot higher. That's
Ah!
tall.
Yeah, no, this is a big one. This is a big boy.
That's a tall drop.
I just want to say the Wikipedia that I'm looking at says that the
I'll put
duration
on
of
the
this
helmet,
coaster
but-
is 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So that means that for approximately, I don't know, 3 minutes, you're just going up this unbelievably huge hill.
Yeah.
And then you
like he
die
has
in the last
combat
20 seconds when you you reach terminal velocity
Fine by
and
me.
then go through 7 loops at the speed of sound.
Yeah. Man, I just imagine you passed out from it, but you didn't die, and then you wake up like at the top of the hill again, so you're like, oh god, click, 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 oh no, oh no. Yeah, but anyway, the reason I bring this up is because this coaster, well, I guess, okay, is it unsafe? It's not good for you, but it's specifically designed to be bad, so I don't know if that makes it unsafe.
I feel like that broaches one of the questions that I immediately had about this.
Yeah.
Is this a coaster designed to kill unwitting passengers in a theoretical experience of, you know, maybe you'll survive, this is like the ultimate thrill ride?
Yeah.
Or is this a coaster where it's like your new options on death row are lethal injection, electric chair, which I don't think they do anymore, or euthanasia coaster? And who is not picking euthanasia coaster if that's one of your options?
I know, right?
To be,
Yeah.
You know, executed by the state or whatever.
I think this is supposed to be like a Futurama-style suicide booth. You know,
Thought I
you
had
just step
combat
in,
out.
you press a button.
Combat
but this is like a
armor
roller coaster.
reinforced Mark II.
If you're gonna go out, like, I guess it's gonna be a good time. However, I think I would qualify this as unsafe to life, but it is designed to be unsafe, and I want you guys to tell me stories that you find on the internet, experiences in your personal
Fine
life,
by me.
of the most unsafe roller coaster, amusement park ride, carnival ride, any experience that you've had on any type of moving vehicle that was intended for entertainment that was the least safe experience you ever had in your life.
We all had Son of Beast. Remember Son of Beast at King's Island?
I do remember Son of Beast. I'll give you some time to think about it because we have to take a moment to thank our sponsor.
Fine by me.
Okay, I suppose I didn't.
This
Thought I
episode
had
of
combat armor
Distractable is brought to you by
reinforced Mark II.
Stamps.com. Have
Maybe
you
I
ever been
did,
over
I
at
accidentally
like a
reinforced
relative's
it with
house
something
and you
else.
see the
Oh
roll
well,
of stamps
no big
that's
deal
like
to
in
me.
the junk drawer over there? That's what old people do.
Takes a lot
We're
more to
millennials.
keep that
We
maintained
buy
than
our stamps
combat
online.
armor,
Why?
combat
That's why.
reinforced.
Why?
Because
Still
it's
a nice
cheaper
upgrade,
and
though.
it's more convenient.
Well, you know what another thing millennials do is
It's like
it's
ugh,
small
this stuff
businesses.
is ridiculously
You know what's
expensive
really
if you're
great
trying to
for
buy
small
a
online
suit.
businesses?
There's a couple
Convenient
locations where you can just
online,
pick them up
affordable
though,
shipping services
off
that you
from
can
dead
access
bodies,
from your
so you
home
don't have
computer.
to
Stamps.com specifically. They make it easy.
and then you can just
print
repair
off
it with
the
other
official
suits
US
of
postage
combat armor
on
that
your
you
home
find it
computer.
with.
And all you have to do is schedule a pickup or a drop off with the postal service. That's it.
Think of how much money you could save on all of your side hustles because you are a millennial and you have many. You have to have many in order to survive.
They offer you deals like you can't get anywhere else, like up to 40% off USPS and up to 66% off shipping rates with the UPS.
I kind of just
Stop
want to
wasting
start
time going
killing
to the
Legion,
post
but at
office
the
and
same
go to
time,
Stamps.com
I
instead.
don't.
There's no risk. And with my promo code Distractable, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. No long-term commitments.
I'm back. I was on the
Just go to
stealth mission.
Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the
You're
homepage
back?
and type in Distractable.
Yeah, I was on the stealth mission.
What do you- what mission? On what
promo
game?
code DISTRACTABLE.
Had to sneak past somebody in real life.
Oh.
Stamps.com. Never go to the
I
post
see.
office again.
This episode of
How are
Distractable
you
is
guys
sponsored
still
by
alive,
Manscaped.
or are you
Autumn is in
all
the air.
dead
And our friends at
inside?
Manscaped are here to make sure that you
Usually
don't carve
this
your
place
pants
gets hit
pumpkin
and they
when
all
you're
die.
grooming. Make sure that you're keeping things fresh this fall.
Yeah,
Leaders
but this is
in
the new
male
feature.
grooming, and their
Yeah, they
brand
are
new
all dead.
4th generation
Damn, never mind.
performance package. Boys,
I was
are you
wrong.
ready for cuffing season? Like, no, it's cuffing season.
I don't know.
I have to be honest.
There's
you know
this
what
one
cuffing
walking
season is?
around
Is that a good thing?
outside
Would
that's
that be
still
bleep?
alive.
Are we talking about season right now?
Oh yeah, it's banging time.
I said to Amy the other day, I needed a really good trimmer, like a beard trimmer. And not only can Manscaped be used for your underbrush, but it can be used for your overbrush as well. I go right from my balls straight up to my face.
I like to go back and forth. I like to do left side, then right side.
I go left ball, right cheek, butthole, right ball, left cheek.
Oh.
I call it the around the world.
Look, it's a really good razor. As a bald person who has to shave their head, the 4.0 is really, really nice. The Lawnmower 4.0, that is the razor.
You can get 20% off plus free shipping when you use code DISTRACTABLE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code DISTRACTIBLE at manscaped.com, manscaped.com. Make your balls a priority this falls. Choose Manscaped. Your balls will thank you.
All right, then we'll have to break it down to titles to decide who goes first. Please attribute some titles to your prompts, and I will decide who goes first.
My title is a kid got decapitated.
That's pretty good. I can't really compete with it. I was just gonna call mine our hometown horror.
I mean, that's a pretty good title. I feel like Bob is just the start of an anecdote. Like, hey man, this kid got decapitated, which obviously I want to hear about. Like, it's morbid, but you know, absolutely 100% Bob. I'm gonna give you a point for that title and going first.
All right, I'll take it.
All right.
I'll take it. So listeners may already know where this is going and be pretty excited about it. And if you haven't seen the documentary, it's absolutely worth checking out. It's on Netflix, I think.
I love that decapitated child is like, you're guys are probably excited about this.
No, it's great. It's great stuff.
You ever
Have
think
you
about being a
heard
ranger?
Yeah.
of Action Park?
No, actually, I don't think so.
I have, yes. I have not seen a documentary about it.
There's a documentary, I think it's on Netflix. And I'm
Oh, wait,
pretty sure
why
it's
don't I
about
just
Action Park.
teleport?
I think it's called like Lawsuit Park or Class Action Park or something like that. Basically,
Oh my god, I'm seeing a picture. I think I have heard about this, but I'm not gonna steal the thunder. Anyway, Bob,
Yeah.
you carry on.
basically this park is in New Jersey. This is my rough recollection. So, and I'm sort of researching, sort of reading, but it was basically run by a guy who looked at other, like, you know, theme parks, and it was primarily a water park, I believe. They added other stuff as time went on. And this guy was just like, I got ideas. You guys want fun rides? I got some thoughts. And he just sort of invented shit. I mean, these are always dangerous. One of the most notorious parts was it had this huge wave pool, which was apparently commonly referred to as the grave pool. In 1982,
Oh, my computer, hang on, hang
on. Oh, son
Shut
of
the
a...
fuck up!
Continue.
Okay. In 1982, 1984, and 1987, people died by drowning in the wave pool. There were 12 lifeguards patrolling the edges at all times, constantly pulling people out, and still it was basically impossible to see what was going on. But like, wave pools are pretty dangerous.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a thing where you make waves on purpose, and it's, you know, people slosh around. It's a whole thing. One of my personal favorites is the guy who owned the park wanted to have and did invent a water slide with a loop in it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Which, if you understand physics, friction, how fast water slides go, anything, you basically understand, like, that's not really a good achievable goal.
Yeah.
On top of the issue of, if you don't happen to go all the way around the loop, you're gonna break some bones because you're gonna fall face first. Anyway, the story goes that he just was like, yeah, I want to like a loop slide, and just built it, right? Bought some parts, made a slide with a loop in it.
Yeah.
Apparently he paid the kids that like were lifeguards and worked at the park and stuff, he paid them cash out of pocket to test his death rides. And there are stories in the documentary. There are stories where the now adults were like, yeah, you know, he gave us like $20 and he was like, hey, ride this loop slide a couple times. And I went down it the first time and I only made it halfway up the loop. I fell backwards head first back down the backside of it, and then I was trapped in the slide. And I had to crawl out. And then I went down it again, and they turned the jets up. I went faster, and I made it almost over the top. And I got to the top of the loop and fell onto the bottom side of the top part of the loop and smashed my face up, and you know, my nose started bleeding. But then I made it around the other side, so at least I got out the end of that one.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
But yeah, this park was staffed by like teenagers, and he would just pay them.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, here's $20. Go jump off this cliff and see if you live.
Speaking of this, Wade, look at the pictures that I just put in. I did not know this about this loop. I've heard about the loop. I look at where it spilled out to.
Yeah.
That's not even a pool. That's just a tarp that they put on the ground.
It's like a water slide that ends in a slip and slide that's way too short for
So
it.
you make it over this loop and you crawl out onto a tarp, so at least they can get your blood and stuff and change out the tarp.
Yeah, you need to be able to hose off the landing pad because there's going to be a lot of injuries and blood and stuff.
This is like a kid goes in and just blood shoots out the end of it. Just like, it's like a blender, like gushes.
Just a wood chipper where you put the bodies and it spits it all out nice and clean there for you.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Is there just a guy standing near like a wooden plank with a hose?
Oh yeah.
He's just watching.
Why is there? What is that by the tarp? Please tell me it's not just a 2x4 sitting by the tarp.
That's like the pad once you get up and reset your dislocated elbows.
If you're not dead later, we could play Back for Blood.
It's a luxury.
I'm gonna be dead, man.
I'm gonna be dead too as well.
The other
So
thing I gotta point out is look at the person standing there, and then look
I'm
at
already
the size
dead.
of the tube. That guy looks like he would just get stuck in there.
Oh yeah, no, the loop is easily like 20 feet in the air, and the tube is such a small diameter that it's not a large fall if you get stuck in the top, but like you basically just rattle around like you're a marble in a marble.
I feel like you'd be very, very skinny if you were like over the age of 13 and you get in this thing. Even the kid, I didn't even notice the kid standing there. Even the kid looks big compared to the diameter of this tube.
Oh yeah, no, wow. Yeah, the kid, it's like half that kid's width.
Another favorite thing about this park that I love, they, at some point across the highway, they opened a part of this park called Motor World. And I'm sure you can imagine like, okay, cool, like what, like go-karts and maybe bumper boats? Sure. Well, they didn't just have go-karts. They had, for some reason, a ride that was called Super Go-Karts. While most standard carts are capped off at 20 miles an hour, they have like a governor on them, so they can't go too fast. It was either the people that ran the park or the teens that worked at the park figured out how to get rid of that, and their go-karts could go up to 50 miles an hour. And literally, people are at this park drinking all day in the sun, slamming beers, going down water slides, and then driving go-karts that can go over twice their safe speed. Classic. They have an attraction in Motor World called Battle Tanks, which just sounds like a safe thing to be doing. That one doesn't actually have any hilarious stories of like people getting maimed or serious, but like you're just sitting in a thing shooting tennis balls out of an air cannon at each other. You know people got hit in the face all the time. But so the thing that I teased, the decapitation,
yes,
that circles back to the water park. I'm trying to find the specific thing. Basically, they tried to make like an incredibly steep, fast slide. That's what I'm recalling. It was originally designed to just be like incredibly steep, fast, open top slide. You lay down, put your arms behind your head, cross your feet, and you just go down really fast. They started having problems with people lifting up off the slide. It's too steep. The water slide is essentially hydroplaning, right? So you're floating on the water, kind of. You skid right off. If it's too steep, there's nothing holding you on the slide. And what they eventually did to try and solve this was to put like a cage over the top of the slide.
Oh no.
Yeah, you can kind of see where this is going.
Oh no.
And this cage was just like a metal like fence. It wasn't slippery or water slidey or particularly safe. And yeah, I can't find what I'm specifically referencing, which is making me afraid that I'm remembering this incorrectly. But that was one that caused a serious injury. I believe it was a partial decapitation, but it caused a fatality, which is obviously serious and horrific. But this place existed for a long time.
Yeah.
This place was open in some capacity from 1978 to 1996. And like, can I just say, our parents' generation, and I don't know where the lines are, but like Gen Xers, I guess, people that are older than us at about 30 years old, you guys lived in a different fucking world. This park is maybe the most extreme example I've ever seen, but it's emblematic of like, my dad has stories of being a kid where he was like, yeah, we used to hang out in the neighborhood, you know, when we ride bikes and stuff, we get kind of bored, and we do stuff like bike jousting, you know.
Jousting, yeah.
You get a couple big sticks, you line a couple kids up on the bikes, and you just like joust at each other. And like, I feel like they probably did that, and then, you know, someone got hurt, or it was dinner time. They ran home, and mom and dad were like, "Oh, what were you doing? Were you playing with the kids?" And they're like, "Yeah, we bike jousted." And they were kind of like, "Oh, well, be careful. That sounds fun." If I, as a kid, had come home for dinner with like scraped up elbows or a cut on my face or something, my parents were like, "What are you doing?" I've been like, "Bike jousting." They would have been like, "No, the fuck you are not." Whose idea was that? Who told you to bike joust? I am gonna talk to Jason's parent. Like, it's like a different world.
Yeah.
Our parents didn't know what bicycle helmets were when they were kids riding bikes around, and my parents beat it into me.
Hey, Wolf.
Anytime I went out, they're like, "You better wear your helmet.
Hello?
You better wear your goddamn helmet."
Yeah, I know.
What you, dumb? Dante.
Like,
you,
I don't know how they survived, and I don't know if that's better or worse for us. Did that make me soft? Am I soft?
No, I don't think they did survive. I think they were just like an accepted casualties of being kids.
Run from me.
Sometimes your kid just gets hurt, and that's like me and my brother. I told this story before, jumping off the stairs. That's just like, we find ways to have fun, but usually having fun as a kid when you don't have like video games or something like that is you jump off of things. So I jump off of a play set, I jump off of the stairs, I jump off of a tree. I like jumping. It's fun until I smash my head. Eat this. I stop jumping off of things.
Well, I guess you learned your lesson.
I sure did. Anyway, Bob, 2 points for your wonderful action partner. Wade, what
Can't run from me.
It's not an entire theme park worth of bad, but here in
Can't run
Cincinnati
from
at
me.
Kings Island, we have a ride that's been around for a long time called Beast, which is a wooden roller coaster. I think it's one of the longest wooden roller coasters, or the longest wooden roller coaster. And in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, 2003-ish probably, they opened up a companion wooden roller coaster, and I say companion because I titled it like the same. It was Son of Beast, and Son of Beast was the world's tallest, fastest, only looping wooden roller coaster. I think that's how it was always advertised to us.
Yeah.
And I remember like eating all that up, and it had some issues. I remember, did you guys ever ride Son of Beast?
I did, yes.
I did not.
Okay. I did a few times, and I never really liked riding it. It was cool, but it was so like shaky I remember riding it the whole time riding it. I remember just being like, and it wasn't necessarily the loop that got me, though. I think later they removed the loop because it was causing some issues, like some wood split and caused people to actually physically get hurt. Nothing like decapitation or anything. I don't think anybody died on Son of Beast.
Yeah.
But I remember at one point you would like be going down a hill, and then there were, I don't know what they're called, but it's like the circular banks where you just like, you're not going upside down or anything, but you're just going in a circle, like in a side, like, horizontal loops or something.
I think those are called twisty doos.
Oh, the twisty doos.
Yeah, twisty dudes, yeah.
I remember going through those twisty doos, and like I remember my chest shaking like so violently that I would like hold on a certain way to try to like stop myself from moving. And I'm pretty sure someone actually broke a sternum riding that ride. I don't know what part of it happened, but I think that's something that I remember hearing about. Whether or not it's true, I don't know, but I remember hearing about these things.
And dude, I would not doubt it.
So let me see. A slight dip in the track created a pothole effect that caused people to get hurt back in 2006, and then that did not reopen for the rest of that year. At one point they took out the loop and reopened it, and then I think somebody claimed that they burst a blood vessel in their head, and that's what caused the ride to shut down. Like after 2009 it never came back, I'm pretty sure. But they were like over the 3 or 4 year period, I remember hearing just a lot of different people getting hurt on it. And I think I rode the thing despite that like 3 or 4 times, like, oh, they fixed it, they wouldn't let us on if it wasn't safe. That's probably the same thing about the park you were talking, Action Park. Everyone's probably like, they wouldn't let us on if it wasn't safe. Stuff happens. Must have been their fault.
I don't know, man. I think that's generational, because that's how I feel. But the interviews in the documentary thing or whatever, the special on it, all the people were like, oh yeah, I had a friend who died. It's fine though. I mean, it's just a water park.
Yeah.
They did not give a shit.
Yeah.
But that is, I will say, wooden coasters. So this is a wooden coaster. This Son of Beast has particularly had, or it doesn't exist anymore, but it had particular problems and was, I think, worse than average for wooden coasters. But people who like wooden coasters are crazy. And wooden coasters, even good, smooth, quote unquote ones, are really violent.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like even the Beast is shaky as hell.
Yeah.
The first time I rode the Beast, that was like the first really big wooden coaster I've ridden, and I got off and I was like, holy fuck, everything hurts.
Yeah.
And like some guy next to me was like, I know, right? Don't you love wooden coasters? How they shake you? No, I don't like feeling like I just got the shit kicked out of me after trying to do something fun.
Yeah.
It's funny about wooden roller coasters. I just put a picture of the Son of Beast after the loop got removed. And if you've ever played like a bridge constructor game where you got to get a vehicle over a gap and you got to build the pieces, wooden roller coasters generally look like this, but the Son of Beast especially looks like someone just put every single wood plank in every single vertice that they could and connected it to every single other plank possible throughout the whole ride. It looks like it's held up by toothpicks, and it practically is. And that's the thing about wooden roller coasters. They have to go through every day and for hours retighten all the bolts because all that shaking that Bob was talking about shakes the bolts loose. So every day, if they don't crank the bolts, the whole thing is shake apart. Like, legitimately, the whole thing would just fall to pieces because they forgot that one bolt to screw, and then the whole section falls to pieces and everyone dies. That's the charm of wood.
I'm pretty sure it's that back right section that's the whirly-do or whatever.
Twisty-do?
That's a big twisty-do, yeah. Look at that twisty-do.
I've never been able to tell, because like you say, Mark, wooden coasters always kind of look like this, where there's like the trackway at the top, and then it's like a huge house of cards of twigs of wood under. I can't tell if that exists, and like if one plank were to be removed, it would fall like a house of cards collapsing into nothing, or if the point of that is like, oh yeah, half that shit could fall off and it would be fine. It's just a lot of extra support and stuff. But it kind of looks like if you pulled the wrong 2x4 out of there, the whole thing would just like those what are those popsicle stick tension things?
Yeah.
You pull the end and they're just like.
And so I remember riding. I remember the feeling of like I remember like holding my chest at certain points. And like this is as a dude. I remember like God, I can't remember who I was dating at the time. I remember riding this with a couple of different friends and girlfriends, and I remember them like holding their chest too, because like it was just such a violent shaking at certain points that like you just, I don't know, probably not very pleasant. The loop, I don't remember the loop being a problem. I don't know why they got rid of the loop before they ended up shutting it down.
Wasn't the loop made of primarily metal?
Yeah, that one they couldn't do out of wood.
Oh yeah, which seems like a lie.
Yeah,
if you're gonna market it as the world's only looping wooden coaster, it's a wooden coaster with a metal loop in it. It's not impressive.
Yeah, it's kind of telling when you're like, yeah, it looks like a wooden looping roller coaster, and the engineer's like, it's impossible to make a wooden loop. Ah, interesting. Do it anyway.
Yeah, well, that's Son of Beast. That's the only one I know of at Kings Island. I'm sure there were other things that were problematic, but that's the one in our lifetimes I actually rode. They ended up shutting down after like a pretty short run. But there's another park not too far from us here in Cincy, down in Kentucky, Six Flags. And I don't know if you guys remember the Superman Tower incident at Six Flags. Nope. There was a cable that snapped on this tower. It was like a drop tower. And the cable snapped, and I think only one person was hurt, but it fully just cut off her foot. It amputated her foot.
Oh, well, you know what? I do remember that.
Yeah.
It was like a high tension, big, thick steel cable, right? And it snapped and did the whole, like...
This ride was older than Son of Beast. This ride opened, I think, in the mid-90s, whereas Son of Beast opened, like, early 2000s. 2007, I think, is when this happened. It was right around the same time Son of Beast was shut down. It's like Son of Beast had just reopened, and then this happened. I think it was, like, a teenager, like a 13, 15-year-old kid, something like that, was just riding. Cable snapped on the way down and just...
Oh, wow.
Here's a quote. People on the ride just came and hit the ground. When I got up there, the lady, she was just sitting there. She didn't have no legs. She was just there, calm.
Man, this game is amazing.
Thanks, Kentucky.
When you think about it, though, this happened, and even like the Son of Beast and other things happen, and it's like you're mid-ride sometimes when this shit goes wrong, and it's like you have to finish out the ride and then get help.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, at least it's fun.
Okay. All right. We've heard the genius of others. Oh, Bob, did you have some?
I just, for the sake of journalistic integrity, I do have to issue a correction.
Okay.
I misremembered the story I was telling about the decapitation is apparently on a water slide called Verrückt, which is crazy in German, which was opened at Schlitterbahn Water Park in Kansas City.
That was a different park. That was an action park.
So that was unrelated to Action Park. It just sounds like a thing that should be at Action Park.
Yeah, no, it fit right in.
But that's
I'm gonna go.
I do have
I
to
told you
feel
later,
like
Wolf.
Okay,
I'm
sure.
sure there were lots of people out there raging.
Absolutely.
Ciao.
I'll deduct a point for the original error, but I'll give you a point for the correction.
Thank you.
So you're net 0.
There are apparently 6 confirmed fatalities, directly or indirectly from Action Park, that are noted.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
This episode of Distractable is brought to you by Zen Business. A lot of you out there listening probably don't know or didn't know where in the world you were going to end up in life. And maybe you're interested in streaming or content creation. Maybe it's something else that your interests pursue. Perhaps you're thinking about starting your own business. And honestly, that's exciting, super, super terrifying. And even though I've been doing this for like almost 10 years, there are a lot of days where I still feel like I'm in way over my head and don't know what I'm doing.
Listen, Wade, starting a business doesn't mean you have to be an expert at everything. Zen Business makes business stuff easier so you can stay focused on your passion. Zen Business allows you to focus on the next step ahead of you so you can get your first dollar faster.
Bob, are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Since I incorporated my business with Zen Business, everything in life is just peachy keen.
That's good.
Fast and simple business formation for LLC, nonprofit, and other business structures.
I think he's gone full business.
I know your business is very profitable thanks to Zen Business, but are you?
It is. I'm great.
It sounds good. It sounds good. But they were quick and easy and always available for you to get any help you needed?
Fast and convenient, and always there to help. Zen Business.
They do have a pretty simple pricing structure. If you guys are interested in checking out Zen Business to help you grow your own business, sort out how to create one. They have a pretty great website, easy to use, all the information you need. Zen Business has helped hundreds of thousands of people get their businesses off the ground by guiding them every step of the way, making it easier to launch a successful business. You can get started today for as low as $49 at zenbusiness.com/distractible. That's zenbusiness.com/distractible. This episode of Distractable is sponsored by BetterHelp. Is there something keeping you guys down? Something interfering with your happiness, preventing you from achieving your goals? Recently, went through loss in the family. For some reason, it feels like the latter half of the year is whenever a lot of bad things have happened in my family, and it's difficult sometimes because I remember those that have been lost. And sometimes it's just nice to have someone there to talk to. And BetterHelp is there to assess your needs, match you up with your own licensed professional therapist, and you can start communicating in under 48 hours.
The holidays can be hard, like Wade is saying, and life is hard in general. And that's why BetterHelp is here offering services worldwide and trying to make it as convenient as possible. You can log in to your account anytime online. You can send messages to your counselor directly and expect to get timely, thoughtful responses. Gets rid of the uncomfortable waiting room experience that you get with traditional doctor's offices.
And they not only have thousands of counselors available, but they're committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches. So they make it easy and free to change counselors if you need it, because it's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available, but you never have to worry about paying to change counselors if it's not working out for you.
Visit betterhelp.com/distractible. That's betterhelp.com/distractible and join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp, they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states, and we have a special offer for Distractible listeners where you get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/distractible.
This episode of Distractable is sponsored by MeUndies. I'm wearing underwear right now.
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, I've never really put much thought into my underwear drawer. I have underwear that I have worn since I was in high school, and that is not a lie.
That's horrific.
Gross. Yeah, that's horrific. It's me too.
However, there is MeUndies to save the day. Underwear that is incredibly comfortable, breathable, sustainable, soft as heck. It's total comfort inside and out.
You know what? I'm also wearing underwear. I'm wearing my MeUndies today.
Ooh.
I was a sad, old underwear-wearing weirdo like you two until I got my first pair of MeUndies, which was honestly a few years ago. I thought all boxers were just the same. I always bought just whatever's the cheapest stuff from the store. They're not.
I do like MeUndies, I gotta admit. I will probably be swapping out all of my old stuff and updating my underwear drawer as well.
And with the MeUndies membership, you never have to leave your couch again. You can get a monthly subscription that sends new pairs right to your door. Fresh style, fresh comfort. Each month you'll choose new undies, socks, or a bralette if that's your style. You can pick the color, the print, whatever feels most right to you. Fun, right? Plus, you not only get to enjoy discounted pricing, but you get free shipping and exclusive early access to new launches. Love your butt and get the membership. To get 15% off your first order and free shipping, go to meundies.com/distractible. That's meundies.com/distractible. All right, but we've heard the genius of others in terms of their incredible roller coaster designs. Now I want to hear from you guys how you guys would make the most dangerous ride. Whether it's a water ride, whether it's a roller coaster, whether it's a new ride that our human imaginations have never come up with before, how would you maim, destroy, or create the most unsafe experience that skirts the line of death but does not cross it? I want any and all potential designs for roller coasters that we could muster.
Okay, you know how there's like those amphibious APCs that can drive on land, but then they can also like go into the water and be boats too?
I love where this is going.
Okay, so we start off with your terminal velocity coaster, and instead of having like a train, you have like individual cars, and instead of going up a secondary hill, it launches off toward like just a big body of water. Okay, so you go down full speed, you launch off to a big body of water where you have like mechanical sharks and alligators, crocodiles that actually do try to kill you and eat your boat.
Sure.
And as you're going around, you go through, you know, like they call it scrambled eggs, the little spinny thingamajiggies.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so you're kind of funneled into a single boat-sized little path on the water, assuming you survive thus far. And then eventually you come to a point where you latch on. This thing like latches onto your boat and then just starts spinning, but it just doesn't slow down. It increases in speed.
Right.
Until eventually the person is launched off, and maybe they hit a target and get to live, but more than likely they don't.
So there's a net at the end.
There's like a net at the end, and then there's like maybe like a spike pit all around it.
Good. Have you ever seen the thing of the catapult? The guy who catapulted across and like landed in a net, but I think he missed one time and died. Like it was like catapult net. Like I'm sure.
Seen the guy who skydived with no parachute into a net.
Yeah, that was crazy. But that guy
nuts.
also practiced like 1,000 times before he did it,
Yeah.
which is like, even if I did 1,000 times, I'd be like, maybe one more just for safety. Hang on,
I know.
guys. Let me try this one more time.
Some things I just don't know how you practice without just ending up dead from fucking up the practice part.
I mean, I think he had a parachute on the practice. I think that's how he did it.
Just don't mess up.
Yeah, exactly. Don't mess up, man. Don't mess up. All right, Wade, point for your creativity there. All right, Bob, you got a design?
I have one. I have one.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so this is a roller coaster type ride, and it's there needs to be some sort of clever name. I've not quite worked that out yet, but basically you can only single rider queue for this. There's no groups, and you have to be strangers. All the single riders, even if you single ride next to a bunch of friends, you're split up. The premise is that you and a stranger are put into one car.
Okay.
And the coaster is one car at a time. One of the riders is facing forward in the direction you're going to be traveling, and one of them is facing backward. But the one that's facing backward and can't see anything has either a lever or buttons. They basically have a way to make decisions left or right.
Right, yeah.
And so there's the person going forward can see.
Yeah.
But there's a series of gates, and it's randomized, right? So you can't just memorize like, oh, you do this and this and that. There's a series of gates that split off into different like looping parts.
Yeah.
And basically, if you don't make the right decision, you can be stuck on this ride until you get incredibly sick and or die of the immense G-forces.
Right, right.
And like, maybe there's one where there's this huge loop that imparts heavy G's. So it's teamwork, right? You have to work with the stranger.
Yeah.
The person in the front has to look. There's puzzles, like easy puzzles, but like riddles or like visual puzzles, something. The person in the front has to look ahead and discern at each junction whether you need to turn, whether it's activated or not, and then which way you need to turn, and then communicate that to the person sitting behind them who has the lever and decides where they go. And it's one of those things where it's a lot of little things, right? The puzzles might be not so hard, but maybe this person's bad at puzzles.
Yeah.
You have to communicate with the person who's facing in a different direction from you.
Yeah.
So you can't just say go left, who's left, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You have to like suss out how you're going to communicate. It's like a trust building, humanity testing exercise of you two better work together and figure your shit out, or you're going to be on this ride until you die.
Yeah, I love the idea of like two people who don't know each other and their lives are in both of their hands, and the guy in the front has to tell the guy in the back, but maybe it's a situation where he's trying to get the other guy killed. Like, they have to be like, hey, maybe I go this way, maybe I go that way. And it's like it's turning and spinning faster and faster as it goes along. I fucking love that. Yeah.
My ride, by the way, was called Triathlon.
All right. That's a good name.
Why reference triathlon?
Because there's 3 different segments.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Because you have the roller coaster part, the water part, and the spinning part. It's like 3 different sections, and then you're launched.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bob's story inspired me, though. We need to make a jigsaw or saw style theme park. And I don't think I need to go into too vivid a detail because everyone's probably at least seen or heard of the first couple Saw movies, and there's like 10 of them now. But you know, that's a great way to kill your guest.
I mean, I think it's like, yeah, this is kind of what it's gravitating towards. It's like, is this an amusement park that people go to specifically to die, or is this like an action park extreme? Which, if you made an action park extreme, people would definitely go to action park extreme. Because honestly, like,
I think this is just if Bill Gates was a serial killer.
I mean,
I think he could do better than that. I have to say.
Yeah.
I think he could do better.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't need to have a serial killer in charge of this. You just need like no regulations and just like completely free market yourself a theme park with no liabilities. Like have everyone sign a waiver before they go in.
Bob, as someone that went through law school, can you sign a waiver that's like, I may actually just fucking die because this place is not safe, and then will that hold up?
I mean, yes. In theory, as far as I understand it, the issue is not whether the waiver is valid. The issue is whether the risk is fully communicated, I think, probably. Because there's probably places that you can go where it's like, it's so extreme. You got to sign this waiver. And the waiver is like, I waive all right to sue this theme park in case of bodily injury or whatever. And it's kind of like, people will see that and be like, cool. That's a gimmick, right? Like, I'm not actually going to die.
Yeah.
But if someone was very specifically instructed, like every person who did this was sat down and a very serious person, like a lawyer type person or whatever, sat down and was like, some of these rides have a high probability of killing you. Like your chance of dying if you go to the park and ride every single ride one time is approximately, 60%.
Yeah.
It's super dangerous. You have to know when you sign this waiver, you're actually more likely to not survive than to survive this visit to the park. If you still want to visit the park, sign this waiver.
Fine by me.
Basically, you can waive any right you want as an individual. If there was maybe this is extreme because it's murder, but if there was something that was like definitely going to kill you, 0% chance of survival, but you were absolutely dead set on doing it, and it, it's like a service operated by one of these parks or something, theoretically, I think you could waive liability and just say like, I know the risk, and I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
So we could build Jigsaw Park and just tell people, like, we'll call the park, you will die if you come here park, and then make them sign a waiver that says you are going to die.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I mean, kinda. The issue is always there's gonna be one person that dies and their mom is like, oh, you didn't know. You didn't look at this material. This isn't serious. This is like a gimmick. This is illegal. You essentially tricked my son into doing something incredibly dangerous. This waiver should be voided.
Yeah.
And I should be allowed to sue you for the wrongful death of my son or whatever. Something like that. Like, that's just bound to happen. That's why people don't do stuff that kills a lot of people. Ignoring the morality.
Well, that's boring.
No, I think you sign the waiver, and then to show you're committed, you have to cut off your own arm with an axe before you can walk in. That way they know that you know the risk you're about to go into of, well, not even risk, just guaranteed death.
You know what would be the ultimate escape room?
Saw?
No, if you rebuild the Titanic and you tell people, we're going to go hit a iceberg, and you're randomly assigned, you pick your difficulty by how low in the deck you want to start out in. You can't start escaping until you hit the iceberg.
Yeah.
Easy mode is just like, I'm gonna be first class women and children.
Yeah, exactly. They give you a wig, give you a lollipop, and like one of those hats with a spinny fan on the top of it. All right, you're a kid. All right, you're gonna have a great time in this one.
I'm guy who overslept and missed the boat trip.
Okay, you're an immigrant in the very bottom row. Okay, cool. You go, like, good luck.
Damn it, I drew captain. Oh, man.
Your reward if you make it out is you get the Jack experience.
You get to fuck in a car?
At the end,
right.
Some percentage of the people are just, everyone's floating in the water. There's a bunch of people on doors and a bunch of people in the water holding the door. And you just hear as like a huge echo, like, never let go, Jack. Never let go. Fantasy fulfilled.
Oh, man, I wanted to freeze to death and or drown.
There's some guy that's like, say the line. We won't rescue you until you say the line. Don't let go. Please don't let go. There was no please. God, there's a whole line of escape rooms based on historical tragedies that we could do the Hindenburg escape room.
Oh my, there's no escape room.
Well, not yet. You could be the first.
Wow.
That thing went up in like 30 seconds.
I know, right?
It's terrifying.
I can't wait to do the Chernobyl escape room. Jesus.
God.
I'll give you a point for Chernobyl escape room. I love the idea of the
I don't think I want
You
it.
got it, man. You got it, man.
Oh, there's so many tragedies that you can make an escape room on.
I
That would be
know.
terrible. I'm gonna stop myself before I end up canceling our program.
That's wrong. That's just wrong.
All right, is it wrong? Is it wrong?
It is.
Okay, you're right.
What this discussion has sparked for me, amusement parks with big roller coasters and stuff. Generally, I feel fairly safe when I've gone. You know, they're big. They have lots of like staff members and maintenance people and stuff. Have you guys ever gone to like a carnival or like a county fair? Those rides, man.
Oh man, this is a great point, and I'll give you a point because that reminds me. Did you see the video of the people that had to run and grab onto the ride because it was about to tip over?
It was like a carnival or something in Michigan. I feel like it was one of those rides where people sit on like a row of chairs, and then a big arm rotates the people seated in these chairs as like a big spinning clock thing.
Oh, the one that like lifts up and spins?
Yeah, exactly. I'm putting a picture in the Discord of it.
It's going, and it just starts to wobble.
Hey, you came?
One, that's
Welcome
my
back.
absolute nightmare at places like that.
Oh, yeah.
But two,
Sure
the
thing. Have a
bystander's
look.
reaction as this thing starts wobbling is, quick, climb on it. If I saw that, I would have a moment of like, oh my God, those people are in so much danger.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's a multi-ton steel machine swinging a multi-ton arm. I would go further away from it if it was me, if I'm 100% honest. And there's like a dozen people who are just like, wig it down so it doesn't fall over. Our several hundred pounds of weight will stop this.
Hey, I mean,
Which it does.
It does.
But holy shit.
Yeah, no, I love that the idea though is, someone has been in an experience like that before, and that's why their first instinct was like, oh yeah, we'll hold it down. Come on, guys, let's go. Like, I love the application of physics in the human brain, because it could have easily just been like it weighed it the other way too much, and then the wobble like constructively propagated, and then it fell over on top of everyone holding everything. Like it could have done that.
Yeah, no, looking at the video, listeners, you may have seen this video, but if you Google people jumping on a carnival ride to keep it from falling over or something, to me, it looks like it's gonna fall over towards the people from the beginning. When they start climbing on the front, the first time I watch it, my brain is like, no, it's the other way, guys. Oh God. It totally works though, and I can't imagine. But have you ever been on a carnival ride? I love the tilt-a-whirl. I love the scrambler. These ones where you sort of just basically get flung around like side to side, or you spin a little bit.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on one of those and part of it just didn't work? And nobody gave a fuck? There was one time, I've always been like a big dude, right? So I don't fit in everything quite right. And there's one time where I was getting on this ride. I think it's called a scrambler. It's one where you sit on like a bench, and it's sort of, the bench you're on spins, and it's on a bigger thing that's also spinning. And you sort of just zoom back and forth and spin around a little bit. And I climbed in, I was gonna ride by myself, because I'm sad and lonely. And I sit down, and there's like a seat belt, and then there's like a front door. And you're supposed to put the seat belt on, and then the door closes and latches. And I like reach for the seat belt, and I'm trying to click it. The ride operator comes around and is like, make sure, like, you buckled, your door closed, okay, you're good. And I'm here, and I'm like, futzing with the seat belt, and I can't get it to go. And I look, and I'm like, hey, this seat belt, is this broken? And the guy kind of looks in, and he's like, is this number 8? Yeah, that seatbelt doesn't work. You'll be fine. You just tuck it in. And I was like, And he's like, no, it's fine. You go forward the whole time. You're held in by centripetal force, right? And I was like, you didn't say centrifugal force, which I appreciate. You used the right force, but that doesn't make me feel that much better. He does that, and I'm like, okay, well, the door will hold me in, right? He goes to close the door, and it's one of those where he's like, slam, 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 slam. It's like, oh, that's not working very well either. And eventually, he just slams it and leaves it, and I'm like, okay, he got it closed.
Yeah.
And he walks away and goes and starts the ride. In the middle of the ride, I start to like have some fun. I put my arms on the door that's supposed to be latched shut.
Yeah.
And it just pushes open. It's not latched at all. I'm just sitting on a seat being whipped around on this carnival ride that was apparently assembled by some dude who didn't give two shits and maintained by nobody. And it was fine. But just in the middle of this ride, I'm just like, wow. I really just trusted my gut and got right off of this thing. Holy shit.
I love that.
And that was that. I think that was at Kings Island.
I love that.
That wasn't even at like some, podunk thing where, everything looks sketchy. I couldn't believe that. Obviously, it was fine, and I'm sure that thousands of people have ridden that thing, and it was broken the whole time. But like, that's not my favorite.
That's incredible. I love that. I mean, I don't love that for your safety. I'm glad you're alive now, but that's exactly what I'm looking for in terms of like, because carnivals and anything like that is, especially carnivals, and it's shocking that that's not a carnival, but carnivals they tow those rides on the road in a truck.
Yeah.
Like they just tow, and then they set it up the day before. When you hear on the radio, like, the carnival's coming to town, and you see the big Ferris wheel. Ferris wheel?
Ferris wheel.
Ferry wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big ferry wheel.
2 dudes put that up yesterday.
Yeah.
Like in a few hours because they were in a hurry to go to the nearest strip club. That's what that got done with.
Hank and his son Dennis were exhausted from an 8-hour road trip from Kansas City. Yeah. They slapped that bitch together and they went and got some goddamn Denny's before they hit the strip club. Absolutely. And then you get on that with your family and you're like, this is fun. We're having a fun, safe time.
I think for the murder coaster, we have a point on it where you go up a hill, and then like your seatbelts automatically just detach, and then it goes down the hill and allows you to go flying off.
Your seatbelt's like tied to a random timer, and it will come off at a certain point.
This is not dangerous, but I felt like I was gonna die. I was in Disney. I was like high school age, so I was down for all the rides. I had a fun time. It was Disney in Orlando. They had the
not too much. I'm trying to find another fire hose nozzle so I can finish off the thing inside Camp McCarran. It's not going so well. I'm trying to remember where another location for a fire hose container is.
And they tell you, don't turn your head.
I thought I had a good chance coming back to the Repcom building because there's a bunch of shitty supplies thrown around everywhere. I found the other pilot light I need, but not exactly what I was looking for, but hey.
Something happens and
what works works.
I don't know how every other human other than me accomplished this, but my instinct was like, oh,
I'm thinking of just seeing if I can steal one from somewhere,
here in the middle of the ride, some really intense part,
or if I can buy one.
Oh my god, turn the thing off, and it was like my responsibility, and I turn and look down and I'm like, aye. I turned my head for a moment and felt like I had been launched into space and was about to throw up out of every hole in my body. I don't think I was in any actual danger, but I was sick for the next day and a half after that shit.
Wow.
When they give you instructions on rides, follow them.
Yeah, no, that's fun.
Holy shit, that was bad.
That's great.
Oh,
there was a thing at Disney. It was not a ride per se, but they had this thing called Alien Encounter. Have you guys ever heard of it?
Oh, it's like a 4D experience.
Yeah, so it's an extrasensory experience basically.
You didn't, did you?
I mean, I think I was like 5 years old.
Oh,
and,
no.
It was terrifying as a child.
I haven't saved
this, like, I don't know if
in a while.
I can't remember at this point. I remember like there's like some dudes talking about like trying to open up a portal to the future or this or that.
Portal to the future, wow.
And then like at one point the portal goes wrong. I think it was like a Tomorrowland thing.
Oh,
at one point it goes wrong and an alien comes through. And then there's like an alien, like this big
I have to restart the game, I think.
And then like the lights
Rip.
go off and you hear a glass shattering sound. And
It's
then
an
like,
F in
you hear, like,
chat.
people scream and stuff like that. And all of a sudden like you'll feel something pressing on your shoulder.
I'm gonna get another cup of coffee.
The back of your neck.
Oh.
But it was like the
Give it a
alien
minute,
state
see
was,
if
like,
it comes back
terrorizing
alive.
the room. And as a kid, like you didn't know it was an attraction. You think the alien's actually real and breaks out and is like popping out and like eating people and stuff. And I don't. They closed it down. They replaced it with something else, like a Lilo and Stitch ride or something.
Yeah, the game died. I gotta restart it.
Lilo and Stitch ride then.
Give me a minute.
That Lilo and
Gotta.
Stitch ride is not the same.
No, I rode that when I was like, I think that was that same trip I'm describing when I was in high school. I remember thinking that was
Can I
cool as
even
hell.
Alt F4?
It was really like
No, I
the
can't.
breath in the back of your neck was like
Control
moist.
Alt
They, like, misted
Delete.
It was gross.
Yeah, it was like a mist in the back of your neck.
It was great. It was like I was really freaked out, and I was old enough where I was like, huh, that's fake, okay.
No.
But a little kid in there would be absolutely traumatized.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was called, was Alien Encounter.